Let's just check if it's live. Just give me a sec. Testing. Huh. Okay, I think we are live. So let's go. So welcome back for another episode of this podcast. Uh, we're just continuing from our last episode, which was the Naruto Part 1. So now we're moving on to Naruto Shippuden or timeskip. And with me today is the one and only Adam.
Yo,
So welcome back, bro.
as always.
Just the usuals. What is the last thing you've watched? Like,
I don't
the
think
anime.
it's I don't
Have
think
you
it's changed from last time.
still solo leveling?
Still solo leveling. Nothing more.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
I'm on
Okay,
like a detox from anime. I can't be bothered anymore.
fair enough. What about like in terms of like just media in general? What's the last thing you've watched?
I've been watching, do you know Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Is that like a investigation like NYPD kind of thing?
Yeah, it's a sitcom, NYPD.
Ah, yeah, I see. For me,
I love it.
I've only just been watching like Breaking Bad. Just been binging that recently. So like season 2 right now.
Nice.
Yeah. So anyways, now that's out of the way. I guess we can start straight away. I just note we're gonna try and make this episode 2 hours instead of 4 hours like last time. That was unexpected.
Yeah.
We did not expect to go 4 hours, but it is what it is. Anyways,
We'll do
what's that?
Now we'll just waffle less on it this time.
Right. So first up, Kakashi Gaiden. So this is technically pre-timeskip, eh? Would you say? But we just left it in for Shippuden.
Yeah, didn't it come out
Cause
like
no,
I'm
cause like
sure these
it,
yeah, these chapters came out.
in the manga, I think it's like just after the Sasuke Retrieval arc, right?
Yeah.
And then you have the Kazekage rescue mission.
Yeah.
So yeah, but we're gonna
Then
include
the
it.
anime
Yeah, the
the anime
anime,
messed it up.
but yeah, it's like random. It's like an episode 150 where this happens.
I think it
But
was
yeah,
year 116
it was
to
like
118.
yeah. Wait, let me
There's
just
two
check.
episodes, I'm sure.
Let's check that actually. Uh,
I'm sure it's 116 or
Kakashi
117.
Gaiden anime. When did it happen? So pretty much 119, episode 119
There
to
we go.
120.
I was close. Yeah.
Anyways, moving on. Kakashi Gaiden. Let's go with you first. What do you think about this arc in general? Like, you
I just
wanna,
think
yeah,
as like close to the Naruto chapter from part one and like to introduce the new characters, like to get
yeah,
the lore of Kakashi, his backstory. Like because remember was it in the Sasuke retrieval arc where Kakashi goes that I've lost everyone, and then now you see who
yeah,
Kakashi's like his close friends were, and then you see his sensei. Obviously, the main thing being how Kakashi got his Sharingan. You see he wasn't the fourth Hokage then, but you see Minato. Naruto. We don't know he's Naruto's dad yet, but I think everyone guessed he was at this point.
right. Actually, I don't think that's true, but like, cause like me being a little kid and a dumbass, I had
Yeah,
no idea. Like, I watched this when I was like what, like 13, like 13, 14,
yeah,
like So like, I had no idea that Minato was actually um Naruto's dad, or I didn't make any connection whatsoever. I had no theories. I just watched it.
yeah,
So yeah, but yeah, I guess if you watched it as an older person, I guess you would have made that connection because it's like
yep.
uncanny. But yeah, I had no
Oh,
idea.
I had some weird theories back in the day, but we'll go
Right.
into that after.
Yeah. So Kakashi Gaiden, I think it was. I don't want to just put it in peak because then you see my bias, but like honestly, I don't think I don't think that's a
I think you have to say his
hot
peak.
take, eh? It's not a hot take because it's like really really short
Yeah,
and
but it's really good though.
it's
Like
so good.
the information you get about the Third Great Ninja War is just,
Exactly.
I just think
And,
it's too good.
well, and like the other thing, you also see where Kakashi got the quote from. You know, the ninja,
Oh yeah,
like those who
yeah,
abandoned
those who abandon
the
their
mission are
friends or
scum.
something.
Yeah, this is where it originates from. So at the time, like leading up to this, we just think like it's a quote Kakashi's come up with, but
Yeah,
really he's borrowed this from Obito, which is
yeah,
yeah. So we get the origin of that quote and the meaning behind it
yeah,
basically. Because remember, like Kakashi, like we've always thought that Kakashi was like what do you call it? Like he was always putting like his students like safety above the mission. But we find out when he was a kid, he was actually the exact opposite. So like he was the
yeah. I
exact,
agree with that.
yeah, he was the exact opposite. So he was like, no, the mission comes first. You know, who cares about your comments? Like abandon them. And it
Yeah, and
like
then you learn about his dad as well
yeah,
during this one.
yeah, that's basically why he was like that. Like he was like, what do you call it? Like he was just hard headed and cold because of his father. Like
He
what
was,
happened to his father?
yeah, he played by the book, didn't he? He's
Yeah,
just like
exactly.
straight up and down. You have
Yeah,
to do this. A shinobi must like they shouldn't show emotions on the battlefield, things like that.
yeah,
He was straight like hard-headed. But
mm,
then you see like Obito, who was the exact opposite, and then you can look at the parallels between that group and then like our Team Seven, so Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura,
yeah,
and then you
exactly.
can see like where Kishimoto like he actually knew like what parallels to portray with each character. So like Kakashi's like Sasuke, and then Obito was like Naruto.
Right. And you know, what's her name again? The
Rin,
Rin. She's like Sakura. Basically does nothing.
basically, yeah. At
But yeah,
least she was
like
healing back then.
yeah, yeah, true, true. And like, why we can talk about like other details in the arcs in that specific episode. So like at the time we uh remember we also see Obito get crushed under the boulder.
Yeah.
So like he gets crushed under the boulder and he gives his eye he transplants his eye to Kakashi. So like yeah, like you said, this is where we find out how Kakashi got it.
Yeah.
His Sharingan.
And also, like, a character you only knew for like 1.5 episodes, Obito, like, his
Yeah,
death, the impact it had, especially on me. Like, I
yeah, yeah,
remember when
yeah.
he died, I was like, what's going on here?
It was actually
Because I knew
sad,
he
eh?
was gonna die because, yeah, Kakashi would mention him, like, he'd go to the grave and he'd talk about Obito. But then when you actually see him die and the way he, like, well, we knew he never, like, afterwards, but when we thought he died there, it was just like, it was a really emotional moment.
Yeah, exactly. And then we also get the like, his gag. You know how he's like always late,
Yeah,
but like when he was a kid, he was always early. But when Obito died, he ended up like how do you call it? He picks up
inheriting.
yeah he picks up
Yeah,
like Obito's habits or bad habits of coming late
yeah.
and all that. So yeah, that's pretty good. So like he inherits Obito's will as well, like his ninja way, like putting his
Mm.
comrades above the mission.
Yeah, the
So yeah,
will of fire.
that's probably like the best part of this arc, seeing Kakashi's transformation.
And I want to
So yeah,
mention, you see Minato and like you see
oh
like
yeah,
what a beast he was.
how cool he is there.
Like I just remember that one scene where it's like doesn't like he throws the bag and then before the bag even touches the ground, he kills that shinobi.
That shit
Yeah,
was cold. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
that was too
Well,
good.
anyways, I think that's pretty much a good summary of this arc, and I think
Yeah,
that's yeah. I'm just gonna put that in peak because honestly, Yeah, there's nothing, just nothing bad about this lock, and everything is just straight gas. So
That's it.
we'll just leave it in peak. You agree?
100%.
100%. I like that. Okay, moving on.
That's it.
So Kazekage Rescue Mission. Now this is technically the start of Naruto Shippuden, the time skip. So I'll just go over it real quickly. So we start off with in the anime, we actually start off with a snippet of the Tenchi Bridge. Eh? You know how Naruto
Yeah.
is like running and Sakura is also running, and then we see this random ass guy at the time, which who was Sai. What did you think of that intro?
Yeah.
Just before I do a summary, what
I
did you
was
think of the intro? It's just random. Eh? It's like,
I
hey,
was confused as hell. Yeah, I
yeah,
was confused as
it
I
was
was like, what's going
confusing.
on here?
It looked cool, and like you know how you have
Yeah,
the what do you call it, the ratio? It looked like it just looked weird. Like it wasn't a full screen, or like it wasn't like it's you know how like the format of the screen, it just looked different.
yeah. I think
It looked
16
more
to 9, isn't
cinematic.
it?
You know, it just looked more
Yeah,
cinematic. I'm not exactly sure what the ratio is, but yeah, it just looked pretty good. Well, anyways, yeah, we get that little snippet, and yeah. So in this arc, we just see a like a quick introduction of all the characters, right? Like you see all the new fits of the
yeah. The
Konoha ninjas,
designs.
all the new designs. Naruto shows up, and
Quickly,
fast
who do you
forward.
think had the best? Who do you think
Uh,
had the best like design on Shippuden, like at the
honestly,
start?
I would actually say Shino. Like he's dripped,
Yeah,
like he's dripped out. Like he looks like someone you'd see on the street today. Like
yeah,
designer clothing. Like his one looks
mhm,
like more like realistic, something I would wear.
yeah.
Whereas everyone else in the show,
I
I
like
wouldn't wear.
Neji's as well. I like
Nah,
Neji's. I don't know why.
bro is wearing like a skirt or something, isn't he?
Yeah, he's wearing that long
Yeah,
thing.
that's what I mean. Like
I don't
I
know. It's like
guess like if you're like from that part of the world, I guess it'd be normal. But if you wear that
yeah,
now, like on the streets, we'll look at you different. You know, we be like, oh,
yeah.
this guy's LGBTQ HDMI.
Uh,
You know what I mean?
oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
like yeah, I look like
LGBT.
I wouldn't personally wear what Neji wears, but like culturally, I guess
Yeah, yeah.
it's acceptable.
I think for his clan it was good.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's suited well with that.
So you agree as well with Shino? You think he had the best design?
Yeah, I like Shino's design.
Yeah, like also even in part one, like in Naruto, he had the best design as well.
Nah,
Like he
nah,
just looked
I wouldn't
nah.
go that.
Oh,
Nah.
I would. I actually like this design in OG. Anyways,
Out
like I
of the
said,
Konoha level. Yeah.
yeah. So fast forwarding, Naruto arrives, and um, what else happens? We see
They
Gaara.
do the test again, don't they? They do the
What's that?
test.
Oh,
They do the
the
test with
yeah,
Kakashi
true. The
again.
test with
Yeah.
Kakashi. No, but even before
Yeah.
that, we find out like remember when we find out that Gaara is like
Oh, you.
the Kazekage basically,
Yeah, yeah,
which
yeah.
is
You
like
find that. I think
it's kind
Naruto
of
tells him.
yeah, which is kind of buzzy because like bro, like we literally just seen him as a genin, and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden he's Kazekage,
Two
which is
years later, Kazekage.
2 years later. Wow,
Bro
take
skipped everything. What did they do?
yeah, it's
Oh,
just like wow. So that was a massive review actually, him being the Kazekage, and
yeah.
yeah, anything else you want to talk about that I might have missed
Um.
before we get to the
n-
main like the main part of it?
Yeah. Before we go to the main part. Um. Nah. I think you just. Yeah. You handled all the bases right there.
Yeah, and anyway, so we see the Kazekage Gara. Um, what do you call it? Like they have this meeting, over like what was the meeting over again? Oh, they're
Oh
discussing
yeah. It's
the
just.
Akatsuki. Like they're just like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
introducing the Akatsuki as a threat, and then you see Deidara and
Sasori.
Sasori basically walking in the
The
desert.
goats.
Yeah.
Yeah. the art, what they call the art duo.
Oh yeah, exactly. Arturo.
The art duo. They're like, I think, one of my favorite duos.
Yeah, actually, I think they're like probably I would say the third A, the third best duo in the Akatsuki, right? We can talk about the
Uh,
rest, but like, would you rank them
yeah,
in the
we'll talk
third?
about the rest.
Yeah, but would you rank them in the
I'd
third?
probably do, yeah, second or third. Depends.
Because
Depends on the day.
honestly, as a duo, I'll put in like the next duo first, like as a duo, like the way they work together and how they
Yeah,
the next arc. Well, we'll discuss that later. So
yeah,
yeah, we see them, and then we um also get like their fights. So Data pulls up to the village, and he goes one on one on with Gar, right?
yeah.
So yeah, what did you think of that fight, by the way? Like,
You know, when I first watched it, I hated the fact that Deidara was like running around
oh
because I
yeah,
was like, he needs to stand there and fight proper. But like over the years now, and like rewatches, I understand like the battle plan, the game plan that Deidara had of
yeah,
like using his advantage, the aerial advantage,
it's not.
basically like just outspeeding Gara.
Yeah, and also the fact that Gara needs to be alive. So like
Yeah,
Data also was like handicapped in the fight. Like he couldn't really
basically,
deal
yeah.
lethal damage, just like enough
And the fact
to
he was
capture.
fighting in Gara's hometown as well,
Yeah,
so he
exactly.
had the hometown advantage.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, like Data had a lot of like disadvantages. Where for Gara, I think he was just like full of advantages, like home territory, and like
Yeah,
he had like basically the village on by like on his side. Even though we find that they
yeah.
do like literally nothing, eh? Like
They didn't shit all.
they
Like, I think they
trash.
they hit a couple of arrows and that's about it. How
Exactly.
how is your military power good?
Honestly, like I also want to talk about that. Like the Sand Village as a village, like they're like literally like so bad. Like they are as a village, they always rely on one guy to carry them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So even before Gara, like Gara's dad was like literally carrying the economy, and like
yeah.
just he was their main protector. And like you don't
And he got
know
off screen as
any.
well.
Yeah, he got off. Like that's not the point, but like the point is like they're always relying on like their village leaders. They don't actually have any like supporting characters basically. Whereas
Yeah,
like if you compare it with the Leaf Village or like even the Stone Village, Cloud, like they all have some heavy hitters. So yeah, like that's one thing about the Sand. It kind of makes sense how Gara was the only candidate because like who else would deserve that in the Sand? Like we don't know anyone else who would like
yeah. We
be
only know
worthy
Temari
basically.
and
Yeah,
Conqueror.
like
That's about it.
I would never put Temari or Conqueror as Kazekage.
Yeah,
And the only other Sand Village is Sand Village what do you call it? Like member it would be like Bucky from OG.
yeah. Baki the Johnny. Yeah,
Like even him I wouldn't he's like a normal Joni level.
he's like an Asuma level. Not even that.
Not even that to be honest.
Yeah,
But yeah, anyways, Gara loses and he gets captured and they basically retreat from the village, eh? And then they get
yeah.
the Leaf Village to come and help them. So they request Konoha's assistance. So yeah, that's a pretty much a quick summary. Well, what was your favorite part of the arc? What did you like the best?
About the arc, my favorite part was probably the. I just enjoyed like finding out about the Akatsuki, seeing like their meeting,
Oh yeah,
like the
exactly.
way yeah, how
The
the leader at that time, we never knew who the leader was. Like
mm,
he done the nine Phantom Dragon Jutsu.
yeah
I don't
yeah
know that I love that part. I love like when they're all like talking and shit talking each other on the Zoom call.
yeah. I think
I
like
enjoyed that.
the aura between their meetings and like the dialogue, it
Yeah,
just like it was just so cool. And
yeah,
then how they were just like staring at each other, especially like Itachi in pain. Have you seen that
yeah.
meme? where they're going like aura for aura,
Yeah, aura for aura.
aura for aura. That was like that's pretty much like what those are, and they're just like fucking
Yeah,
staring at each other. But like me, probably like my favorite part would be, I think it would be like uh the is it like the third Kazekage? The third
yeah,
Kazekage's disappearance and that
and
review. That review. You know how we
yeah,
find out that like Sasori was the one who actually assassinated him, and then like
yeah,
he gets gassed up way before that review. So like they basically say like he was the strongest ever. Like he had like
yeah.
metal bending, not metal bending, like metal sand,
Was it like
like
Iron
yeah,
Sand?
iron sand, yeah. So he controls
Yeah,
iron sand where like like you just know like that's dangerous. It's
yeah.
like
You see
Gara.
it in
It's
the
like
fight like,
Gara.
with
It's like Gara on
Shio.
steroids. Yeah.
Yeah, Shio
So
and
yeah.
Sakura when they fight Sasori.
Mm. So yeah, to me that would be one of my favorite, like one of my like top two moments, and the other one would be
Yeah,
like basically the whole Sasori versus Sakura fight and
that's a good.
Chio. Like
Yeah,
man, that shit was just peak, to be honest. So
that was.
is there anything else you wanna talk about? Like some
Um,
details,
I want
some
to
like
mention like a reason why I think it's so. Before I think it's like a really good arc. You see like
mm,
Kakashi. You see like his evolved Sharingan. He now has a Mangekyo. We
yeah.
don't know how he got it, but he was training with it, and we see like his ability. Also, we see the fact that Naruto is a bit of a wild fire. So like when he takes out the QB, he can't control it.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, we learn about that. We also what's another thing? So I think another thing that I enjoyed was learning about Sasori and then his relationship with Chio. I like Chio as a character.
Ah, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was cool.
She was one of my favorite characters, like in that arc.
Yeah, 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 for sure. Yeah, also I want to touch on that too, like how so like we don't even know like we don't really know who this Sasori guy is, but then like we get introduced with Chio, and then Chio basically tells us the viewers about like that's that's her grandson, and then we get like the
Yeah,
backstory of like the parents, how like they went to war and then they didn't come back, and like
yeah,
even that backstory was kind of sad. You just see like the effects of like the world basically. You know how we mentioned how the kids are always like
yeah. I think
messed up, become
yeah,
orphans,
you
and
learn that
like yeah,
Kakashi's
like
dad kills him, doesn't
oh yeah, and yeah, well,
he?
Kakashi's dad. Yeah, true. That's a good point.
Yeah,
So we find out
the
Kakashi's
White
dad,
Fang.
yeah, kills him, and like yeah, like we get like
Oh,
what's that?
another thing I forgot to mention was, do you know when was it Deidara when he was sitting on Gaara's like corpse? They were
Oh yeah,
arguing, him and Sasuke.
yeah, yeah,
I think that was one of my
that
favorites as
was
well.
disrespectful. Like, hey, he would like slapped his
I
face.
love that.
It was like
Yes, yeah.
tapping his face, like
Oh,
bruh, that
he's
shit was
swearing
wild.
everything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, like I was saying before, like like the world itself, how Sasori is like he became like an orphan because of the war torn like universe, and how the parents just went out and died, and then he became a villain because of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. Anyways,
So where would you?
where would I rank this? Honestly, I'll probably rank
Yeah.
it in great, to be honest.
Mm.
What about you? It was a great arc.
I'd
There was some peak
I'd
moments
put it
though,
in
but
three. Yeah, that's the thing. There's peak moments. However, I think one thing that lets this down is what they done with Guy's team. So like when they made
ah
them
yeah,
fight
yeah,
the
yeah,
clones,
yeah. Yeah, that
that
was
part was
rubbish.
great.
That's like
Yeah, that
straight up
was
filler, eh?
rough.
So like that actually
Yeah,
happened, but like
hated that.
I don't think the manga actually dragged it out like that.
Yeah, I think the anime just like
It used it
they
as an
they always do like
opportunity
crap
to
like
pad.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. What was your favorite moment of the fight of Sasori, Chiyo, and Sakura? Like, what was your favorite moment in that fight?
Probably, do you know the 100 versus 10 puppets? So I
100
think
versus.
Sakura
Oh, yeah, yeah,
spazzed
yeah.
in that. That
Basically,
was
when
being
the
sick.
when the animation changed, they
Yeah.
yeah, that shit was wild.
So when you
That
know
was big.
that the animation's just gonna be like another level. You can see it with the art style.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So like for me, yeah, actually, like my favorite moments in anime in general are always like reviews. I feel like I get more hype out of reviews than like fights most of the time. So like my favorite moment in
Yeah.
that fight was like the Kazekage review and the review when he's like pulls out his body and we find that he's a puppet.
Yeah.
So he turned himself into a puppet.
Yeah.
To me, those were like my
Yeah.
two favorite moments in that fight.
Also, do you know Chio's sacrifice? Like when she
Oh
uses
yeah, yeah,
jutsu to revive Gaara.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That was
That
pretty good.
moment.
That was pretty good. Yeah,
Because I think it shows her character, how she changed. And then when Kakashi talks about how like the older generation, like the third, even Chio now, like they inspire the new generation. So like Naruto, Gaara, they're gonna be the next saviors.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And like it was actually a nice change to see Sakura stepping up because you know how like in a whole of Naruto Part 1, she was just like a support character, not doing anything.
Yeah,
Like she really shined in this arc. Like she was like,
yeah,
I think she was better than Naruto in this arc, low key.
I
And I don't
do
think that's
agree.
a hot
Yeah,
take. She just like stepped up. Naruto became a side character. That's what I felt like
yeah. I think
because
strength wise as well. Like
he was just
with her,
chasing he was just chasing
yeah,
Deidara in this arc basically, where Sakura was actually
yes,
throwing hands. But yeah.
yeah,
But yeah, Mouse. The another peak moment in this arc was the you know how we find uh Gara and they get him, but he's dead, and they all like meet in the
yeah.
fields, and then they're having that moment like Naruto's like
And he's
why
crying.
why why did it happen to Gara like
Yeah,
and he's talking about like the persecution they get as Jinchurikis,
yeah,
and then he was just going off. That moment was so good, eh? Like it was such a good moment. And
yeah,
then Chio reveals her special technique to revive him, which
yeah.
was like which was created to revive Sasori's parents. Actually, we get that we get that told to us as well because she was she was disappointed and like sad that Sasori's parents died, and so she was about to install life into the puppets. Eh? Is that the pretty much the summary of it? Like
Yeah.
Chio was developing this jutsu. I think it's called Rini. Is it Rini Rebirth or is that something else?
Now that's for the Rinnegan.
I well, there was like a technique she was developing to bring back Sasori's parents, but she ended up using it on Gar.
Yeah,
So yeah, when that happens, and when Gar wakes up, and then he sees all the villagers, like he sees all his fellow villagers like just all there in support. Like that moment was so good. Like it was such a like a wholesome moment.
yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty much that was such a great conclusion to this arc. But what did you think about it?
The conclusion.
Yeah, like this conclusion.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. So I enjoyed like the fact that Gaara, when he woke up, he saw Naruto first, and
Oh
then
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, so you can see like the bond between the leaf and the sand, like because remember in part one they had a feud, they had a battle, and they were like repairing it, but
yeah,
then now you see like it became fully repaired, and then Gaara's the Kazekage. All we needed was like Naruto to become Hokage. But it shows you like the start of the progress
yeah,
of the
exactly.
leaf.
Yeah,
And also, like when Gaara, like even though he doesn't have Shukaku in him,
Mm,
he's still like he's still the Kazekage, still renowned. You can see that he still has his technique, so using the sand. So he
yeah.
hasn't lost his ability.
Mm. So yeah, that's pretty much the Kazekage rescue done and dusted, eh? And then at the end
Yep.
we get the official like union, like it's like Gaara shaking Naruto's hands and
Yeah.
in support to like building a new future, basically what you were saying.
Yeah.
So yeah, then that's pretty much the end of the arc. So yeah. Next up, Tenchi Bridge. Do you want to go over it real quick? Just like a quick.
Yeah. So I enjoyed this arc because it like leads off with the last one. You learn about, well, Sakura learns about the information that um I think it was Sasori, he was meant to meet someone from Orochimaru's people.
Yeah,
And then this arc starts with the fact that Kakashi is out of commission because of using the Mangekyo. And obviously he's not an Uchiha, so the Totally puts on him is greater than a normal Uchiha. So
yeah,
we see the new characters, so we get introduced to Yamato, and then we also get introduced to Sai, and he's part of like the root. So we learn about Danzo here as well, and how Danzo was a rival to the third Hokage. He wanted to become Hokage, and he was like someone who opposed the third Hokage's reign. So we
right.
learn about that. And we also learn that Yamato has the wood style like Hashirama, so the first Hokage. You get that information, but it's like really ambiguous at the start. You don't know how he has the wood style. You just
Yeah,
know that he has it. But then later on during the arc, when Orochimaru confronts Team 7, you learn that Yamato was Orochimaru's experiment, and you learn that the fact that some of Orochimaru's experiments are like working well, like the Leaf are using them for support and for aid.
mm. So
And
yeah, yeah, that's and then continuing from that, they first off they meet Sai through a confrontation. Remember, Sai is just like pressing them, like he's pressing Choji. Was it Shikamaru and Naruto?
I
They were
think he
just
was
chatting.
testing Naruto's
Yeah,
ability.
basically they were
Yeah,
testing Naruto. Like Sai was testing Naruto, so he just like busted out his moves. What did you think
yeah.
about Sai's abilities? It's pretty cool, eh? Like his
I liked them, yeah.
paper scroll.
I think
Like
it
it's
was,
really aesthetically pleasing. It's really good.
yeah, it's original. It's not like fire style, water style. It's like something different.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just like what do you think? What kind of like elemental release do you think that is? Like you think it's like
The
water, like his super beast scroll?
other thing is like, do you
Like
know a
what elements
clan,
would you?
clan technique?
Oh, like a clan technique.
So
True.
like the shadow, and then like
Yeah.
you have the
Because
Akinichi
you
clan.
wouldn't really classify
Yeah,
Shadow as any of the five A. It's just like a
exactly.
technique
Yeah,
based on like lineage or something.
yeah.
Yeah, like a secret technique.
But I think
Fair
because
enough.
it's bringing something to life, isn't it? So I think it's like, is it like a yang release? So yin and yang. So it's like
Nah,
a yang
I
release.
don't think so. I think he's just manipulating his drawings with his chakra. I don't think it's
Yeah,
actually alive or anything. He's just manipulating it. But like his that ability is it's so good for like his profession being like an ambu or like a
yeah.
is that the proper group? Oh no, it's called the Foundation, eh?
Yeah, so
It's called the
you have
Foundation.
Onbi with yeah, the Hokage, then you have the
Yeah.
Root
Or
Foundation.
Foundation, yeah. Foundation is like
Uh,
the other secret
Danzo.
like
Yeah,
special ops, yeah, under Danzo basically. So yeah, we also see Danzo as well. Like we see like the start of his conniving and like
schemes.
snake ass scheming basically.
Yeah,
So yeah, and this arc also has like the Orochimaru, like the Orochimaru fight with Naruto. Like he
Yeah,
just
the
like
foretell.
he
Yeah,
just goes straight into QB mode as soon as he sees
yeah.
Orochimaru on the
What do you
bridge.
think about that fight?
It was actually a really good fight. Like it was such a peak fight.
Yeah,
Like I
I
think this is
think
the
like
first
there
time
were
we
a couple
see
of
this is the
episodes.
first time we see 4 TSA. Remember?
Yeah,
This is the first time we see it. And then
yeah,
we also get that little scene with Jaraiya, how he's like, this is what Tsunade did to me. Then he shows like
yeah.
his broken bones. And then like he goes on
Oh
and then
yeah, the
he's like, this
scar
is
on
what the
his.
4 did to me. And then he's got like
Yeah,
this cavity in his chest.
yeah.
And then we see like basically like the destruction of the 4. So yeah,
Mm.
that was pretty cool.
And
Like
then I think after that we see Sasuke, don't we? So we see
yeah,
him for the first time in this arc. And
yeah.
like, I love that scene where Sai sees him and he's like, I don't have any emotions. But when I saw him, I think this was the first time I ever felt fear.
Fear, yeah, that was
So it
cool. When
shows,
like yeah, even
yeah,
Sasuke
it
is
shows
like
the level.
his aura in this arc, like like you can just tell he's just built different now. Like he
Yeah.
just looks so much more like menacing.
You can tell he's on another level compared to like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
people in Konoha.
Mm. So yeah, that was that. And actually, one thing I want to bring up is like how you mentioned Sai's emotions and like his pretty much his like lack of emotions more like.
Yeah.
So we find out like he had a brother, right, in his book. And then you know how
Oh
in
yeah.
his book, like it's him and his brother, but they're like,
The last drawing was
yeah,
drawn.
it's basically they're drawing like each other's opponents, and it all leads up into like the last page, and the last page isn't filled out. So like
Yeah.
in that mode, we kind of get this idea that Sai kills his brother basically, because like how we know like
Yeah, his
the
brother died.
foundations, yeah,
We
like yeah,
hear
we know
about
that his brother dies, but we also know how
yeah,
dark the foundation is. Like we just get that,
yeah,
we get that feeling that Sai kills his brother, basically.
yeah. We hear the similar to the blood mist, don't we?
Yeah,
So like
exactly. Yeah.
Zabuza had to kill all his people, so we thought it'd be similar to that.
Mm. But like, I actually really like that, like how Kishimoto tied that into like the foundation. Like it was just such a cool concept, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, and what else happens in this arc? Sasuke,
I think
they find Sasuke, right? Like they actually find Sasuke,
yeah.
or was it
I
like,
like one of the scenes that I like was, do you know when Yamato, when he's like talking to Naruto and he's like, you're the one who hurt Sakura, and then when he's like, if you want to go save Sasuke, don't use the Nine Tails, so like use
oh
your
yeah,
power,
yeah, 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 yeah.
use your strength. I enjoyed that part.
Mm.
That part was good.
I don't think I agree with that, to be honest. I get what he's trying to say. Basically, like that power is too dangerous to use, and you should
Yeah.
just not rely on it and just use your own strength. But like, if you really think about it, I don't think that's the right advice. Because like, the right advice
He should have told him to control
should
it.
have been you should like learn to control it, or like you should tap
Yep.
into it, but don't let it consume you, basically. But
I
obviously
think it was like a
we
short
get we get the
short.
the meaning why he said it, because like he just went on a rampage, basically.
Yeah, he
But
doesn't know
like,
what he's doing when he's Black Foretels.
yeah, exactly. And then like we also see Sasuke. Remember when he's flexing on like all of them? So he's like
Yeah,
he flexes on Sai, flexes on Naruto. Like that was a
he blows
cool
up
ass scene
things
as
in
well.
the hideout.
Not even that. It's like
Yeah,
how the Sai was like attacked him, and then Sasuke's like, "Oh, that is the right move." And then when Naruto attacked him,
yeah.
he's like, "That is the wrong move." So you could like in
I
that
think he's
moment, you just
yeah.
like he was just like flexing on them, basically, which
And
I
then
thought was
also
pretty
the one
funny.
where
Oh,
do you know Sasuke? He goes into Naruto's mind
yeah,
and he
yeah, yeah. That
suppresses the
was
man.
that was a cool moment as well. Yeah.
The Ninetales like talks about how he's like close. He resembles Madara
Madara.
Uchiha.
Yep.
I like
Yeah,
that
that
part.
was cool. Yeah, that
That
was pretty
part.
cool. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of the sake.
Yeah. I think they go back to the leaf, don't they? And then Naruto's like, I think he's depressed because he knows that Sasuke's on another level, and then Sakura's depressed as well.
Yeah.
So this is like shows you like how advanced, how Sasuke's progressed, how good he is, and like how much Naruto has to train to even like basically rescue him. It's not
Mm.
like a rescue because Sasuke doesn't want to be rescued, so it's just like
Yeah, yeah.
just for Naruto. Yeah.
And another thing, like the difference between Sasuke's time skip and Naruto's time skip was like so much. Like there's such a big gap in strength.
It
So
was
like
night and day.
Naruto really was on a vacation during his during his time skip.
I
The
don't know what
bro
Jiraiya
the
taught him.
bro was not training. He was pissing around.
He learned how to do a bigger Rasengan, and that's about it.
That's about it.
Oh
Eh?
yeah,
Honestly, I like to
yeah.
think that Jiraiya spent more time like traveling around the world than like actual training
Bro was
because like
that girl told
Naruto didn't do
Naruto to
anything.
just
Like I think the only thing he might have learned was like how to overcome genjutsu.
even that never worked.
Yeah, even, that didn't
He
even
tried
work
to
because it was Itachi.
the Itachi clone literally
Yeah,
put him under it. Oh.
pretty much. So yeah, like Naruto's time skip was low key disappointing. Like his
And then
like
you see Sasuke, and he has like
his return was
10
not as good.
variations of Chidori.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah,
you can tell Sasuke did a lot of training when Naruto did a lot of like yapping basically.
yeah.
Well, anyways, yeah, I think it was a great arc. Um, we were talking about
Would you
Tenchi
put it
Bridge,
in
right?
Great Arc?
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, where would you put it? Would you put it in peak?
I might put it in decent. I don't know.
Decent.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'd put it in decent.
Really? I feel like the
Personally, for
Orochimaru fight was so good. I think it was so good, and like
yeah.
Sasuke's aura and like his review, how he was able to like look into Naruto's soul, basically. I think that was such a those were like really, I would say, peak moments or like
Like for
hype
me
moments.
personally, there was a few moments that like they dragged out, which like when they were looking for Sasuke, like
Right.
we knew from the first episode that they would eventually find him, but they still
Mm,
dragged that out for like 2 episodes. We
fair
never
enough.
needed that.
I
And
don't feel like
even
nah,
like,
like
do you know
decent though.
when
Like
they're going to the
that's
bridge?
you put in decent over like some poor pacing. Like this is like we gotta take into account story wise. Like I don't think I can put it in decent to be honest.
And
Pacing
and
pacing was
also,
bad, but
yeah, I never liked Sai at the start. So at the start, Sai like because I'm a Sasuke Glazer basically. So the fact that he was replacing Sasuke, I was comparing them, and he
yeah,
wasn't like on his level.
fair
Yeah,
enough. But I
so
feel like Sai was cool character. Like I actually liked him. Like I don't really
and eventually,
like at that
yeah,
time, I didn't really
eventually,
care about Sasuke to be honest. Like Sasuke was just cool. I didn't think he was like.
I love Sasuke. Yeah,
Nah, I didn't really love
at
Sasuke,
all
man.
times,
It's only to
Sasuke was
like
my favorite.
it's only to like in the middle of Shippuden when he was like on Demon Time. That's when I actually started liking him. But
Yeah,
like at this point in
now
the
I
story,
like Sasuke the most.
I didn't really like him that much to be honest. But yeah,
I think that's where we differ.
okay. So you didn't like Sai and you think the pacing was bad, right? Or like not
Yeah,
not as good. So the reason why I can't
yeah,
put in decent is because there we had the Orochimaru fight, the Sasuke review, and like everything that happened in the cave. Like to me, that was just too good to put in decent.
yeah,
And even like the introduction to like Yamato, like he was just like
yeah.
comic relief. Like he was actually really funny.
Shall I tell you
Like
another
I
reason why I
yeah
don't think it's a good enough reason, but I just think that every other arc that I see is going to be better than that arc. So
nah
that's why I'd
that's
put
not a
this
good
one
reason
in
to be honest.
decent. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd put this one in decent, then every other one like after.
Okay.
But I
I
know
can put
it's
in
not.
decent because we can go over and like basically review our selections. But yeah, decent for now. But I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
it leans more towards great. But we'll put in decent.
yeah. But top of
Uh,
decent.
yeah. So Akatsuki
Yeah.
Suppression. Just gonna leave it in great, but you can argue it's peak. Um, you want to go over it real quick? Akatsuki Suppression.
Yeah,
So it's
yes.
the one straight after Kazekage.
I think this one is where like Naruto, he starts training, he learns his nature release, his wind style. So he trains with Kakashi for a bit, trains with Asuma. I think in the middle of this you get like the filler arc, so I'll skip past that.
Yeah, yeah,
Then we see the second, the third Akatsuki duo. So Itachi and Kisame were first. Then you have Deidara Sasori. Then the third one we have the immortal duo. So Hidan and then Kakuzu. I think they fighting the Two Tails? So they're fighting
Oh
what's
yeah,
her
yeah,
name?
yeah,
Yugito.
yeah,
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 they're fighting her. And then they off-screen her, and then they go to the temple
yeah.
where I think the Guardian Shinobi 12 guy is.
Hmm.
I don't know his name. I think is it Hiroko or something.
Uh, I think so. That sounds right. And then they
Yeah,
basically like destroy the temple and like waste them basically. Yeah,
yeah, they kill him, and then I think they're taking his body to the bounty.
yeah.
But then
Which is
before
like,
that, Tsunade yeah, they find
hmm,
out that the Akatsuki are in the Land of Fire. So they're coming to the Leaf Village to get Naruto.
yeah. I
And
actually no.
then
I don't think they were there for Naruto. I think they were there for Yugito.
no, they were there for Yugito,
I don't think they were
but then I
assigned
think
Naruto. Nah, they weren't. They
they
weren't the
were
one who was. I don't think they were assigned Naruto.
yeah,
They
I
were
think
just
Itachi
passing
was
by.
assigned Naruto, wasn't he? Yeah,
Yeah, it was Itachi who was assigned Naruto. So like,
yeah.
I think they were
I think
just
yeah, that
passing
was
by to collect bounties. Remember? So they went to go collect
yeah,
that guy. What's his name again?
the
The
Hiroko.
temp. Yeah, Hiriko. Yeah, they went to go capture him basically, and that's why they were like
Yeah.
in the land of fire. So yeah, this arc was mainly like it was like a Shikamaru and Asuma arc. It basically revolved around them.
His name is Chiruku, not Hiroko.
True. Yeah.
I don't know where I
So
got
like
Hiroko
in
from.
this arcade, like in this arc, we had like major death flags for Asuma. Like it was just like there was so many hints that
Yeah.
Asuma was gonna die. It was crazy. It was just
I think
like
isn't
obvious
it this
hints.
arc where you find out he's the son of the third Hokage, and you never knew that before.
Nah. I think we knew. I think it
No, no, we
quickly.
never.
Nah, I'm pretty sure we were quickly told that in OG Naruto because we
No,
know
no,
that
no.
he was a Sarutobi. We know he was a
I
Sarutobi.
watched OG Naruto, and
Really?
his second name is never mentioned in the first in OG.
Oh, true.
Yeah,
I thought it
they
was. It
mention
was.
it, in flashbacks. They mention it then. So Asuma Sarutobi, but that's in Shippuden. That they use
Ah, I see.
flashbacks. In OG, if you go through it, they never mention his second name.
I actually
And then
don't
even
believe that.
like you know,
Let me check that. But yeah, but you can talk about it.
even in like the third Hokage's funeral, like they show his face, but he isn't like a standout figure. And if he's the son of the third Hokage, you would think there'd be more of like, and basically, like they'd be focused on him more. So I think this is the arc where you fully find out he's the son of the third Hokage.
Right. It takes too long to actually find it. But yeah, oh, if that's true, that's crazy. I didn't actually realize that.
Yeah.
So yeah, continuing from where you left off. I
So I
think
think I left
us.
off with
No, you left off when they were about to collect the bounty. So like, yeah, they went into the like this bathroom,
yeah,
right? And there's like a hidden entrance where they can like
yeah,
go into, and it's like a morgue basically where
anti
they identify
yeah,
bodies. Yeah. So once they leave that, they get jumped or they get ambushed by Shikamaru's team, right? Shikamaru, Asuma,
yeah.
and these other two Jonin, or not even Jonins, they were tuning, eh? They were tunings.
I think yeah,
The
the
other two,
tuning. Yeah,
yeah, and that was actually a peak fight. Like it was such a good fight,
that was a good fight.
mainly because like the stakes, like the Akatsuki, they're just like you know, you just know they're like a
Yeah,
problem, man. The way they fight, it was just so. they were so nonchalant. Basically,
That's
that was the
because
reason why it was so like high stakes.
the kill he done, and the next thing you know, he
He's not
just comes
actually.
back to life. So
Yeah,
you don't he doesn't react.
yeah, yeah,
Then
yeah,
Asuma's literally he's 1v1ing him, and then you have Shikamaru who's like providing backup. It's not like working properly. And then the other two are like trying to figure out what Kakuzu's trying to do.
yeah, yeah.
Because I think Hidan goes there, don't interfere, so
He's basically on the silent
um
watch, you know.
yeah, Kakuzu just he just stays on the sidelines, just chilling.
Right. And
And
like
then this is where you get
it was
yeah,
so good because like Shikamaru was like analyzing them mid fight, and his support play
yeah,
with Asuma was like peak, bro. Like you know how he'd be throwing his
yeah,
kunais around or like
yeah.
trying to get like trying to get Hidan like pinned, and it was like
And they
how they cut off his head.
eventually they kill him
Like
actually.
that was
Yeah,
like
they
so good.
kill him.
Yeah, even
Yeah,
like how he figured out Hidan's abilities, how it works, like how you
like how
know
he stays in the circle.
how he
Yeah,
cut. Who did he cut? He cut Asuma. He licked his blood. Then he
yeah. He
transformed,
uses his side.
and then he made the
Yeah,
maka, his ritual symbols on the floor. How that happened? The moment Hidan stabbed Asuma's leg, and then that moment, like he was
yeah,
able to analyze that like mid fight and trap
yeah,
Hidan. So like all of that happening, like that shit was just peak.
yeah. They basically kill him. So they kill him, and then he has to get his head reattached by Kakuzu, and then
Yeah,
they carry on fighting, and then
yeah.
that's when you get the fateful death of
Mm.
Asuma Sarutobi. What do you think of his death? Like,
Nah, it was a
were
really
you
good
like
death.
emotional?
Nah, it was
Yeah,
emotional. Like it was like not so much to me, like the death was sad, but the the reactions to his death was
I think
way
yeah,
more
it was
sad.
the
Like
reaction,
that
wasn't
is
it?
what got me.
Yeah,
Like it was so sad. But
that's it.
anyways, well,
I think the rea was the reaction of Team 10, like when they
yeah,
came to support,
his speech to all of them,
and
and
like,
then you know how it cuts to like
oh,
the like a short like slice of life
yeah,
like flashback of him like going to the barbecue and then like giving them the earrings and then the OT.
yeah,
Like man, it just hit. So yeah, like the
that was
reactions of
pretty,
Asuma's fight, Asuma's death was really really sad. Like that is what got me.
yeah,
And how he's like he tells Choji's like I think you gotta work on your diet, and then he's
yeah.
like you gotta work on like I don't know like you just gotta help these two because they're clumsy.
You gotta win. You
Yeah,
gotta win in
and
life and love,
you
man.
gotta win in life, especially against Sakura. That was
Yeah.
funny. And then he didn't
And then
really,
he tells Shikamaru who the
he,
king is as well.
yeah, but like he doesn't really say anything to Shikamaru out loud, right? He's just like he gets Shikamaru
And
to
he whispers it in his
he
ear.
whispers in
Yeah.
Shikamaru. Yeah,
I
so
think
that
it's
was a peak
Shikamaru's
moment.
reaction, like with the rain.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
that's what got me. Yeah.
I and like the difference in the manga because I've actually not read the manga. Apparently, he's smoking and like and
Yeah,
they're
he
saying
smokes.
he's
Yeah.
smoking like this is when he picks up the habit of smoking, right?
Yeah.
Which was censored in the anime. So I didn't even know that till like a couple of years ago, to be honest. Like way after I watched Naruto,
Yeah.
I found that out. So yeah, that moment, even like the quote when he was like there's like smoke in my eyes, and then how it's like raining, and then
Yeah.
like it's hiding the fact that he's crying. Like man, that was really good. So yeah, anyways, that happens, and then I think
Then we get the
Kakuzu was trying to finish the job, right? He was trying to like collect Asuma's body. And
yeah.
then that's when the other reinforcements arrived to basically fend off Kakashi and
Yeah,
Hidan.
that glass. Yeah.
Yeah, is it Alba, the guy who
Yeah.
does crows as well,
Yeah.
the
Itachi's
the
the
wannabe Itachi.
yeah.
So yeah, that happens, and then I think Pain. This is the first time we see Pain's actual like is actually his face or this part of his face. I think he's chilling like in the rain, like on the
Shows
tile on the
the
tower, eh?
Hidden Rain Village.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then he
And
orders
this
them
is
back. He orders them back to seal Yugito, right? I think that was the reason why he.
the Yugito and the was it? I don't think it was the three childs yet.
Now the three tails not captured yet. That's later on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they get called back to Pain, and then fast forward. I think the funeral. You know that episode, like that was such a
Funeral.
peak episode. Like the animation changed for me.
Shikamaru's reaction.
Shikamaru's
Yeah, with
reaction,
his
like
dad.
the chess match, man.
Yeah. When his dad
It
goes let it all
was.
out.
I think it was like the quietness
Yeah.
of the episode, like the tone, like like it was like really really somber and
I
dark.
think that might be one of my favorite
Like
episodes.
yeah,
The show.
I think that's like a top five moment in the
Yeah.
show, like in the
It
whole
has
show.
to
To
be.
be honest, yeah,
Yeah.
I think that was such a good moment.
And then we get
And
they get back. So Kakashi like joins the team
yeah.
because I think he taught Naruto all he knew basically. So like with the Rasengan and then to create his own one with the wind release.
Right.
And then now he joins Shikamaru to like get revenge
Mm.
for Asuma.
Yeah, but before we get to
And then,
the fight, remember when Shikamaru he was about to go out just between Ino and Choji? Like to me, that's like
yeah,
suicidal. Like if they had left without Kakashi, remember they were
they
planning.
would have. Yeah, I
They
don't know
were
how.
planning. They were planning to go and fight Hidan and Kakashi just between the three of them. To me, that's wild.
Yeah,
And
that's
how
stupid.
Tsunade was like, "Are you crazy? You're literally going out there to die. Like this is suicide." Which
Yeah,
like she was spitting facts. There's no
that
way they
was
would have
facts.
came out of that, like came out of that
Kakashi literally he carried
between
them the
them.
whole way.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Yeah,
say he carried them, but he's like, you know,
he
he
did the heavy
really like
lifting.
he did the heavy lifting, honestly. Kakashi
Yeah,
did do the heavy lifting.
like
So
without
like
him,
even when
there'd be.
like when Kakashi came, you know how they were talking and then she's like, I no, I'm not letting you go. And then Kakashi's like, what about if I come? Like man, that was such a good
Yeah,
moment. Like that was such a peak moment to be honest. And we also skipped like the chess like I don't know if it's chess but shogi. You know how the dad was like
yeah,
let it out because like
and I talked about that. Yeah,
Shikamaru was holding in his emotions and he didn't let out all his pain, which is bad.
yeah,
So like the father
yeah,
was trying to get him to like basically cry and let out his emotions.
yeah,
So that scene was super impactful. That's what I wanted to bring up before we move on. So
yeah.
yeah, and
And then we get the final fight. So like, well, it's not the final fight, but the final confrontation of Shikamaru, Kakashi. I'm not even gonna mention the other two because they don't even do anything. And then yeah, they fight Hidan and Kakuzu, and then you see like Kakashi going first is going toe to toe with Hidan, then Shikamaru goes, I'll deal with him, you deal with Kakuzu, and then you see Kakashi versus Kakuzu, which is I think one of like it's a really good fight at that moment, one of
yeah.
the best.
I think like
And then Shikamaru gets Hidan.
choreography wise, I think it's one of the more creative fights. Eh? Like there's just
Yeah,
a lot of things happening in them. So yeah, what was your favorite moment in that fight in particular? Like pick out a moment, like
in
your
that
favorite moment.
fight, in that fight, I'd say it's the Shikamaru part. So Shikamaru and Hidan. So when he
Ah,
gets in
yeah.
and they go to the other area. So is it like where the deers are? That
And
forest, the Nara
the
forest.
Nara Forest.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
like you can
honestly,
see that Shikamaru.
that was the best part of the episode. Honestly, out of the arc,
Yeah,
like Shikamaru's speech to Hidana, was like, "I'm your god now. You know, you don't need to fear anyone but me."
yeah,
That was such a like an aura moment. Like that was such
yeah.
a
This is just
boss moment. Like, you know, I'm him basically. And he like
that
literally
was
like blew him up, and he's like,
yeah,
bro, he was like eviscerated. He turned into like
yeah,
meat basically, like chunks of meat.
yeah.
Like that shit was wild to
And
be honest.
then we see Naruto and Team
Naruto.
7 saving Kakashi.
Yeah.
I think that moment was peak when they come in to save him.
Mm.
Then Naruto just like he goes, I'll deal with Kakuzu,
Yeah.
and then Ras Shuriken,
Mm.
and then
Honestly,
how
I
like
wasn't I wasn't too much of a fan of it. I thought it was all right, but like I didn't really like how Naruto came in to finish off Kakashi. I feel like
yeah
it should have been Kakashi and the others. I feel like Naruto came in and stolen their spotlight, if you know what I mean. They just like,
I think he's the MC, so he had to come in
yeah,
because
I get
literally
that, I get
whole
that.
arc was on Shikamaru.
Yeah, yeah. But I kind of like
Yeah,
how, side note, like how we get introduced to like chakra natures and like the weaknesses and like how you
yeah,
can like what do you call it? Like amplify based on like
yeah.
what do you
So
call it?
Wind can amplify Fire Style
Yeah, you
and
can
then things like that.
amplify like combinations of elements. So like for
I think
example,
Kakuzu was using
Kakazu
a
did
lot,
it as
wasn't he?
well. Yeah,
So
Kakazu used
yeah,
fire and air to make a
and
stronger,
Wind together. Yeah,
yeah, to make a stronger fire attack. And Naruto did
and
the
then Kakashi
same.
was doing he
No,
was
Naruto,
doing it similar.
no, no. So Kakashi he implemented like the weaknesses. You know how Kakazu
Yeah, yeah, the Lightning Style and then
he
Earth
hardened
Style.
with Earth Style,
Yeah,
and Kakashi used Lightning Style, which is like a direct counter to it.
yeah,
So yeah, we learned that as well. Like and Yamato and Naruto do it as well. Because remember Yamato does water style,
yeah. He does.
and
Yeah,
Naruto
Water
does his
Style,
Rasengan, which amplifies that
Wind Style.
to counter,
Yeah,
yeah, to counter Kakuzu's. So yeah, we learned that as well.
yeah,
So that was pretty cool. But anyways, I think that was a satisfying arc for Shikamaru. Like
yeah. It has
such
to be
a
great.
it was like an MC moment. Like that's how huge it was. Like
Yeah, I think we
Shik
used to call it. Wasn't it called Shikamaru Shippuden at that point? Because
yeah,
he
it is
became
called
the main
Shikamaru
character.
Shippuden.
Yeah,
Yeah, like Shikamaru really like shined in this arc to be honest.
yeah.
His revenge story was really good. Yeah. So where would you put it? Great, peak,
And it has to be in great. Yeah,
has been great.
I think there's contention to be peak.
I think
So
yeah, I think it's between. I think it's higher, like going towards peak if you ask me. Just so
I think it is going
because
towards
of the
peak.
fights, because like you have Shikamaru's first fight, then you have Shikamaru's second fight,
Yeah,
then you have the moment with Shikamaru's revenge, and then you had the
yeah.
episode
Even
with
that episode. Yeah,
the reaction episode, like that
yeah,
the
the black and white
somber
episode.
thriller episode. To me, like those moments are just so peak. Honestly, I
I
would put
think it
it in
might be in
peak.
peak.
Peak?
I might put it in peak as well.
Yeah, I'll put it in
Yeah,
peak just for those moments, to be honest.
yeah.
So yeah,
All right.
next up, Itachi Pursuit.
Akatsuki
I
Pursuit.
think
So this is when
I'll put in great for now, but I think this is obviously it's between Kakashi, Sasuke and Deidara, but I think it starts out with
so this is when
Orochimaru
Orochimaru dies.
dies, or like you know,
Yeah,
yeah. So it starts off with Orochimaru and Sasuke, how he betrays him, and he basically consumes Orochimaru's whole being, because I
body.
think
Yeah,
what happens is Sasuke is like he's content with what he's learned with Orochimaru, and now he's planning to betray Orochimaru basically and like escape because
yeah,
he's learned everything he's needed to. So Sasuke Sasuke ambushes Orochimaru in his sickbed, and then I think they have a like a what you call
a battle.
they fight over like possession basically because Orochimaru I think he actually starts off the
He
what
goes
do you call
into
it?
his like
Yeah,
dimension
he
thing.
starts the ritual basically, like the ritual
Yeah,
to to take over like Sasuke's body, but Sasuke like puts him in a genjutsu basically, and like he
yeah,
basically becomes Sasuke's puppet or yeah.
yeah,
So Sasuke consumes Orochimaru. He absorbs his nature energy. Um, then he goes out to find his team, right? He makes the team. I
Yeah,
think at the time he calls it Hebi, which stands for snake, right?
yeah, they call heavy at the start.
The snake team, yeah. So he gets who does he get first? He
So we
gets
get two
Suigetsu, eh?
first.
Suigetsu's first, and then he
Then it's
gets
Karin,
Karin, and then they get
and then Jugo.
Jugo. Yeah.
Yeah,
So then yeah, once he gets his team, and then that's when he goes out to find Itachi, eh? So I think
yeah.
uh they meet I think Deidara meets Sasuke in the forest, eh? Is that how they meet?
No, so before this, this is where um basically Konoha finds out that Orochimaru is dead,
Oh yeah,
and
right, right.
Sasuke is going to pursue Itachi. So Konoha has to make a team to capture Itachi.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and they
So yeah,
I see, yeah. So like I think Yamato's in the team, Kakashi's in the team, Kiba's in the team,
and then it's
uh
Kurenai's team.
Hinata's in the team as well. Oh yeah, Kurenai's team with
Shino's yeah,
Shino, yeah.
Shino's
Yeah,
there.
you're right.
Yeah,
True.
and then you have like normal Team 7 with Sai as well.
Yeah, so what's the meeting? Like how do they meet? Like how does Data meet Sasuke again? If I remember, it's just
Basically,
like
he's look
random, man. Like he's just like
yeah. So they
running in the
seal.
forest or some shit, and then
I
Data
think
just
the he
pulls up.
seal the two tails or the three tails, and then I think Deidara was saying to Itachi, he goes that if I find Sasuke, I'll take him out because
Oh yeah,
he
yeah,
wanted
yeah.
to kill Orochimaru. And
True.
then he
Yes.
goes that, but if I find the nine tails, then I'll capture him as well. So he's just like with him, it's like whoever I find first, I'm gonna fight.
Oh yeah, right, right.
And then everyone's kind of looking for each other, and then that's when you get like Naruto finds Itachi first, and then Deidara finds Sasuke.
Sasuke. And
Yeah,
who does remember? We also see Kabuto as well. Like
yeah.
Kabuto,
Kabuto finds Naruto first, and then Naruto finds Itachi.
right? Oh yeah, I see. And then we see Kabuto's like what he's done to himself basically. How he's like injected like Orochimaru's
Being,
being basically. Yeah. So yeah, he's slowly becoming Orochimaru. We see that, which is pretty creepy. And yeah, I guess we can go straight to the fight, hey, between Sasuke
yeah.
and Data. What did you think of the fight?
This fight I loved because I enjoyed the styles, so the matchup. I enjoyed how they were both like using tactics. So Sasuke was using his lightning release, and
Right.
then Deidara was using like C1, C2. He'd go up, so like C1, C2, C3. Then you saw was it C0?
Mm.
And I
I think it
enjoyed
was it
like
was like a
the
really tactical and strategic fight, eh? Like there was a lot
yeah.
of
I
like
enjoyed Toby's part.
strategy.
Yeah,
I think in this fight, Sasuke was always like basically one step ahead. Even though it looked competitive, like it really looked like a back and forth, but really it was like in Sasuke's control the whole time.
you could tell he was in control. Yeah,
Nah,
he
I mean
was
it
like
was it was kind of back and forth, like from
mm,
like from from our point of view before we find out how Sasuke was like setting plans and counters.
yeah.
So like to me, it looked competitive, but it really wasn't. Sasuke was
Yeah. I
like he
enjoyed Toby
was.
as well. So like how
Oh
Toby
yeah,
was
true,
messing
true.
about.
Yeah.
That was funny.
What do you think of Dato's arsenal? Like his techniques? I think it's like pretty unique, eh?
I think it showed why
Like
he's
it's
like one of the strongest Akatsuki members. So like his that C0 bomb with
yeah,
the was it the C4 with like the small ones, the nano bombs.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like
C0 is like
if
the
Sasuke never,
inflated molecular bomb, eh?
yeah,
That's
if
the
Sasuke
C0.
never had the Sharingan, he wouldn't have like seen those. So basically anyone without a Sharingan would have died. So it
No,
shows
I
like
don't
the
think that.
level.
It's also like the the
You have to be
lightning
quick enough with it.
lightning release as well. Because remember, Data actually got him point blank, and he put him in the balloon. Remember,
Yeah.
he had Sasuke and he engulfed him inside the balloon
The
when
thing
he
is,
actually breathed those in.
those bombs,
So it was also the
you
fact
can't.
that it was also the fact that Sasuke had lightning release to disarm them. Because remember in the previous arc we know that lightning counts as
It's strong against
Earth.
Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was cool too. How that was reviewed.
Yeah. And
So
then we see Deidara killing himself, basically.
oh yeah, he
But
basically crashed out of it. That was funny.
yeah, that
But
AoE, like the damage that caused was
yeah, that was crazy.
crazy.
I think it was like 10 kilometers, eh? Like a 10 kilometer
Yeah,
radius. Like
yeah,
that's crazy. And like how his whole purpose is just like to create like explosions, and that's his art. So yeah, I think Data was such a cool character. Like his concept was like, no, it was lit, literally.
yeah. His like conclusion and like his fights and all that. I think it was fitting of his character. So
Yeah,
like art is
exactly.
an explosion.
He went out in a bang. What did
That's
you
it.
what did you think of his backstory? Like it was such a short, but like, it was good backstory, eh?
I love that moment when do you know Itachi standing there like in the
Oh
silhouette,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
you see like right behind him, and
Oh
he's
yeah,
like,
that's
"This is true
also
art."
yeah, that's the reason why he hates like Itachi, like
Yeah,
specifically, basically. We find out why he hates Itachi, and he's like putting out his frustration on his younger brother, Sasuke. But we find out
yeah,
like that's the reason why, because like Sasuke literally sunned him. I mean, Itachi sunned him back when he was joining, and also like it
yeah,
was funny how Sasori, right? Remember Sasori was like he's the type of guy who would die young,
yeah,
just because like he could tell like Sasori was like uh brash and like impatient, and like
yeah. He's
he's
gonna
like
blow
the type
himself.
he's the type to crash out, which was like hundred
Yeah,
percent. It's like at the end he literally just like suicide bombs, which was like fitting of his character. So yeah. Anyways, I think would you put that in great? I think I'll leave it in great to be honest,
yeah. I
because
think great is
it's just
yeah,
it's pretty much just Date over Sasuke, eh? And everything leading up to that
yeah.
is basically just
I think you could talk about like the
padding.
fact that Itachi sees Naruto, but you barely get any of the confrontation. Like, it's
Oh
a
yeah,
lot
yeah,
of it's off screen. You
true,
only
yeah,
see it after, I think, like at the start of the pain arc.
right.
That's when you see,
I
because you
guess
know Itachi's like story.
yeah, I
Like,
guess it was more like mysterious. We didn't know why
yeah,
Itachi wanted to see Naruto.
yeah,
I think that was the start of like me being sus, like questioning Itachi's real motive. To me, I thought that was weird when I watched it. I was like, hey, like
yeah, same.
why is he just seeing Naruto and just letting him go? I
Yeah.
thought that was a bit sus, but like, I didn't really think that he was a good guy. I just thought it was weird.
Yeah. I never questioned it that much, but I just like, I
Yeah,
knew like in the back of my head,
yeah,
like
yeah,
there's something going on.
exactly. Anyways, moving on. Well, we both agreed it's in great, eh? Just because the fight itself was
Yeah,
peak. The fight itself is peak, but like, yeah, overall it's great. Anyways, Tale of Jaraiya the Gallant. I think this is
that has
just
to go.
this is like everything, eh? Like everything inside
This is Jiraiya's, yeah,
Jiraiya's story.
Jiraiya's
How you get
backstory.
the backstory with Rain
Yeah.
Village. Right. Do you want to go over it real quick?
Yeah, so you see Jiraiya's backstory, like when he was training with the third, with
Right.
Tsunade, and then you see he goes to Mount Miyaboku, and then he has a prophecy that one day one of his students is either going to cause great like destruction, or they're going to be a savior. So
Yep.
he's out like basically his whole life is about that prophecy now. So he's out looking for that student. So he's going around and then he's learning about like the different ways of the shinobi. So like how some people don't like enjoy like war, but they're not going to do anything about it. So he wants someone who wants to do something about like the wars that are going on.
Yep.
And I think you see, was it the second Great Ninja War? I think they say the third, but I'm sure it's the second. So you see that happen in the Rain Village with Hanzo, and then when they name the Sanin.
Oh, how they
I
got
think,
the legendary signing
yeah,
title is from Hanzo. Yeah.
yeah. And then you also see like three Rain Ninja, and then at this moment, like you see one with orange hair, and then you assume, well, I never assumed it because I was a bit dumb then, but a lot of clever people assume that this one is going to be Pain, and then you see the Rinnegan, but that's on the red kid, and then
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you learn
Honestly,
about
I didn't
Kid.
understand what was going on. I was like,
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, a dumbass and too young to actually understand what was going on.
yeah,
So yeah, anyways, I'll pick
and
up
then
from
you,
where you left. So then we get to see I think like them as kids, right? So
yeah,
like first right off the bat, I think the first encounter with them was like Orochimaru was saying like, should we kill them? Which would have been
oh
like
yeah,
low
that was
key, which would have been low key the right decision.
actually,
Because like,
yeah,
you know, obviously you don't know like, oh, these kids will grow up to be like the Akatsuki. But I thought that was
yeah,
pretty funny and like in hindsight. Orochimaru was right. He really should have killed them kids,
huh?
you know?
Yeah, bro was spitting.
Yeah, and then I think that's pretty much how the backstory ends. It's like he volunteers to train them, right? He trains them up until they're like, you know,
And then
until they can defend
he
themselves
also,
somewhat.
doesn't he talk about the Sage of Six Paths, how he had the Rinnegan, and then
Oh
like
yeah,
the
yeah. How he,
reincarnate.
yeah, yeah. How he saw like the Sage of Six Parts in Nagato. And that's the first time we get that that revelation, that law.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but then
true.
he finds out that they died, doesn't he? So
Yeah.
yeah, he finds out they die in the war, and then
Well, that's what he
I
thinks
think
that that that's what he assumes happens, which
he
isn't like
assumes it.
yeah, which isn't like 100% correct. Which is it's partly right because you know we know that
Yeah,
Yahiko dies later on. So
yeah,
yeah, and then I think
and then
we flash forward to the present, when Jiraiya is
no, no, no.
infiltrating. Isn't that what happens? Jiraiya infiltrates
Now the
the.
next part of the backstory was you see Minato, and then
Oh,
you
true. Yeah,
learn
yeah.
about Naruto's dad and Naruto's mom. So this is the arc where you get confirmation that
Right.
Minato, the fourth Hokage, is Naruto's dad, and then Kushina. I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah.
I think it was mentioned, but like nothing about her origin, but she's the mom. And then Jiraiya was the person who named Naruto. So this is where you learn that.
Oh, yeah, true. That was. I think this happens during the interaction between him and Tsunade. How they like having
Yeah,
like a drink because like
yeah.
Jiraiya is telling her that he's gonna go on like a dangerous mission and all that, right?
He found out that where
Well,
the leader
Pain. Yeah,
was.
well, like Pain basically is like yeah, true. And then I
What do
think
you think
after,
about that
what did you think of this? What did
between
I think of the
Jiraiya
scene
and
in Tsunade?
yeah, Jiraiya and Tsunade?
It was a game like Arsenal. It has like major death flags. It was just like I think when the story like when a story says like I'll be back for sure, you know for a fact he's not coming back. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's just like misdirection is like the opposite of what's like it's like heavy death flags in the scene to be honest.
yeah. From there, I knew that.
From that I
Yeah,
knew like
he's
damn, I think Jiraiya's cooked.
yeah,
Yeah, I actually like had a feeling that he would die, like to be honest. Like to me
yeah,
it was obvious. I just like yeah. See, that was pretty emotional and like it was actually pretty sad. And then you know how he
Oh,
also said when he like
one thing I wanna bring up that I think we forgot to mention
what's
was
that?
we learn about Toby. So we learned that Toby is in fact Madara. He's the leader of the Akatsuki, so
Oh,
we
yeah, yeah,
find
yeah,
out that was alive.
yeah.
I think that was in the suppression arc, wasn't it?
No, that wasn't this arc. I know that was in Itachi Pursuit.
Oh, yeah, it was in the Itachi arc.
Or was it in this Tale of Jiraiya? Because like this, like basically is a transition arc towards Jiraiya the Gallant, right? So it would have been like
Yeah,
in between this. So most likely, yeah. It's good that you mentioned it because that was a big review. And yeah,
yeah,
what I wanted to talk about was like how Jiraiya was like when I come back alive, or if I come back, like would you like could I take you out? Basically, remember? He said something like that.
oh
It
yeah.
was like,
It
damn.
was rising
He
scenario.
was basically trying
Yeah,
to raise her up, and like it actually worked there. Like she was like, I
yeah,
reckon she would have like actually accepted his confession, and they would have been like a
no,
thing.
100.
They would have
Yeah,
100% been a thing if Joanne came back, which is sad because she
that's
left it too late.
they would be a
They
power
would have
couple
been
right there.
they would have been a power couple, bro. But anyways, yeah. So he goes off right into the Rain Village, and he
Yeah,
infiltrates he infiltrates the village, and he basically he goes into the frog, eh? And the frog basically spits him out. What did you think of
yeah.
that? Like that was pretty pretty good, don't you reckon?
Shows like his ability of infiltration is like, I think he was mentioned as being one of the best infiltrators in the Leaf.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
He
you learn
specialized. I
why
think
he's so good
he himself said it. I think he said like he's specializes in
at espionage.
espionage and
Yeah, infiltration.
infiltration. Yeah, like that was such a cool ass move to be honest. Like
Yeah.
he just comes out of the frog like wow, it was like crazy if you ask
And
me.
then you also learn that pain controls the rain. As like
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
actual raining, like when the village rains, like he
Mm,
knows like where everyone is. He
yeah,
knows all the chakra and all that.
yeah. How do you think that worked? I think it worked like sonar. Eh?
It's
Like
like water style, isn't it? Yeah,
no,
water
it was
style
just like
jutsu and then
if you touch it, it sends off like a signal basically, and that's
yeah.
how he
It's
knows.
like sensor
And he can
it's
even
like a
sense like the power level as well. Like he can sense
yeah,
like the
it's strong.
level of like the level of like the person that it like it
Yeah.
touches, which is kind of crazy.
I think like most sensory ninjas have that. So like Karin had that. I think
Yeah,
Toby Rama had something similar.
but his range I guess was like way
Yeah, his
better.
range was
His
massive.
range is like the
Yeah,
whole village basically.
basically.
So that was pretty cool. And then he he goes around and like basically tries to pick up and get inside, right? He's
Yeah.
asking around like people basically.
Yeah, I think he finds out that Hans, because he thought that the rain was in a civil war, so like Hanzo was fighting someone else.
Yeah,
But then he finds out that Hanzo's actually dead and it was Pain who killed him. And then he's shook at that moment because he knows how strong Hanzo is. Because Hanzo took like a legendary signing. Basically, he battled all three of them. He was like one of the best fighters in the wars.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
from then, he was cautious of Pain. I think that's when he
Because
released
he wasn't expecting like
released Seal, the
what's
key
that?
that Naruto had.
Oh
Didn't
yeah,
he
yeah, yeah,
release key?
yeah,
Yeah, so he knew that like it was gonna be a hard battle then.
yeah, yeah, yeah. True. But before that, like he remember he traps those two like guineas or tunings inside his frog bar.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was pretty cool. And then like he basically turns one into a frog, and then he tickles the other one. I
yeah,
thought that
that
was
was a
pretty
bit weird,
funny.
but
That was funny. That was really funny. And then I think
and then
from
we get
there we get the what you said, how he
conflict.
gets the seal.
Oh,
Nah,
when
yeah,
yeah, he
like
released the seal.
inside that inside that inside that scene.
Yeah,
And then we move on to like Jiraiya
Ac-
finding Conan, eh? Right? So this
yeah.
is
I
when they
think she
meet.
finds him.
Oh yeah, I see, yeah.
Yeah, or Lady Angel, as they called her.
Lady Angel. Oh yeah, we also get a little sneak like foreshadowing moment, right? Remember when I think he sees like this old lady, and then this lady is like praying to like this uh origami, and then the
Yeah.
lady tells him that this is like the Lady Angel. She's like one
Oh
of
yeah, in the
the
shop.
yeah,
Yeah.
she's like the emissary to like Pain, who was looked at as God
Yeah.
basically. Yeah. So yeah, I think the fight between Conan and Jiraiya was pretty good. Like it happened quick because
You
you
noticed
know
it, didn't
Jiraiya
he?
like
Just like,
handled her. She just like
yeah, he used the oil, toad
yeah,
oil
yeah,
bombs, and he just like basically incapacitated her.
yeah, exactly. And then I think just before Jiraiya was gonna like subdue her, or like I think Pain came and
Yeah.
like released the foam, like you said, released the foam to
Yeah.
nullify the oil basically. What did you think of Pain's speech in this moment?
I like the speech, so I enjoyed the fact that like when Jiraiya like he realized he was fighting his former students. So he thought he was fighting so he knew it was Conan,
Yeah.
and then it was Nagato, but he never looked like Nagato because he changed the body then. And he also like doesn't use his real body at that moment.
Mm.
So like when he asked him, he goes that, "Oh, why did you go down this road?" And then he goes that because I know pain. And then you learn about what pain is.
Yeah,
Or
yeah, yeah.
you don't learn that much about pain. But I think Jiraiya like understands that Nagato's been through a few things. But he's like, why did you choose this path? Like you could have chosen another path. And then Jiraiya knows that like he has to deal with his student. So he has to like basically kill a student at this moment.
Right. But what did you think of like Pain's motives, his plan basically? Like you know how because
What
I
about
think
making the
yeah,
Terror Beast weapon?
making the tail beast like weapons to basically give out to all the villagers to like ensure mutual destruction, which is like an
I
actual
think
it's an actual real
it's
world
basically
it's a basic real
yeah,
world like fear, eh? How like now,
it's like a nuclear deterrent basically.
yeah,
That's all it is.
basically. No, but he wasn't
So
even
like
using it as a deterrent. He was actually hoping that they would actually use it on each other. So I
yeah, so
think he
he
was gonna
said that
use the fear. He was gonna use the fear and the
yeah,
consequences of everyone actually setting off, like basically Biju nukes, and then in
yeah,
that people realize and like understand pain basically, and
yeah,
that will like deter future wars
mm,
until that is forgotten basically. So that was like Pain's whole goal, which was kind of dark.
idea, yeah,
Basically, he was hoping everyone would nuke themselves, which is wild.
yeah.
So yeah,
It was I think it was a good plan that like
do you
the
reckon there was a
Akatsuki
good
helped.
plan? I think that was
I think
like,
for the Akatsuki it was a good plan. Like for them, for their success,
yeah.
I think it was a good plan for them. But obviously not for the world.
Okay, like, do you think it's like do you think it fulfills his main goal? Because like I think Pain he wants to create
Yeah,
peace, right? But do you think this is a good plan to create peace? Like critically,
yeah.
like looking
For
at
him,
it,
it was
like
a means to an end. So it was like the destruction would lead to the peace. So like
exactly. Basically,
he wanted the outcome.
he would nuke everyone, and those who survive would want peace. Like that's his
Yeah.
goal, which is like wow.
I don't think there's a real like there's not like a real solution in my opinion. I
Yeah, yeah.
think you'll
Which
be
is
like
like which is his point. His point is like
yeah,
there is no real peace, and you can only create peace for time, like for
yeah.
like
I don't want to go into philosophy and ethics though because that's just it's
yeah,
another thing in itself.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think stick to the arc.
Anyways, yeah, so that happens. I actually really like his speech about like being gone. Like that was such a cold scene. Like it was really, really
Yeah.
cold. and how he's like basically saying that Jiraiya was like a nobody compared to him. Like the speech itself, it
Yeah,
was really cool. I had goosebumps watching that actually. So, anyways,
and that
we
was a
move
good.
on. Yeah, we move on to the fight itself. What did you think of the fight?
I love the fight. So like the animal summons, and then
Yep.
um Jiraiya using his toad. I think it was what's his name? The Gamagoro, the one who's
Gam.
ungraceful.
Oh, true. I actually don't know the names. Let me
It's
Google it real quick.
Gamahiro. I think it's Gamahiro.
I can Google it. You can carry on talking about it. I'll get that turtle's names.
Yeah. So we learned that we never knew this, but the one pain has one of the six jutsu. So that pain, the one he was fighting, could only use the animal summons. So like he's fighting that, he's struggling, and then he's trying to enter sage mode as well. So like he's not allowed to move. So he's
Yep.
just staying still. And then he's trying to summon the great elders at that moment as well. So like I think that fight, that was a good fight. And then you see the conclusion of that where he summons the elders, he enters sage mode, and then they one shot all the summons
Mm.
and they start like beating on the pains. However, the animal pain summons the other two pains, doesn't he?
Yeah. Pretty much.
And then that's when like it's three pains versus Sage Mode Jiraiya. And then you get the Genjutsu and then Jiraiya beats those three pains. But
Right.
then he gets off-guarded, which doesn't make sense in Sage Mode. But
So like yeah, I
we'll,
think we find out like three of the abilities. Yeah. So like the one we know is in this part was the absorbing guy because he absorbs
yeah, so
Jiraiya's Rasengan.
is that
The
the
summoning
blood
one.
fighter pack? Yeah.
Which one? I don't know what the names of it to be honest, but yeah, the absorbing pain, the summoning pain, and the soul sucking pain. The one who gets kicked in the
Yeah.
face. Isn't that the one who takes out your soul?
That's the human path. Yeah,
The
that's the
human
human
path.
path.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think those three are revealed at first, and then I think once Jiraiya he actually kills the three of them, but then he lets his guard down at the end, and then the cyborg pain comes in and rips his arm off. That's that
Yeah,
moment, right?
yeah,
I
that
think
one.
it's the is it the animal path, right?
One who rips his arm off.
Yeah,
No,
the
no, that's the
animal path.
no, it's the Asura path. The
The
Asura
Ashura path.
path is the one that rips his arm off.
All right. So yeah, I think, and then this is when we see Tendo pain. So like after he gets thrown out of the building and he gets thrown into
Yeah, the
the
Diva path.
water. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we see them all assemble, basically, and jump, Jiraiya.
Yeah. And then he has to make the decision, doesn't he? So Jiraiya could have escaped at that moment, but
Yep.
because of his prophecy, he wanted to make the decision. And then I think he kills the human path. No,
The
he kills
human.
the animal path. Yeah,
Oh
he kills
yeah,
the animal path.
he traps them in the
And then
toad.
he finds out that the bodies are basically they're all dead. And then he learns that the real pain is among them. So he was going to say that code, but then he had to write it down because he lost his voice.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
because his throat got destroyed.
And that was yeah. Let's talk about Jiraiya's death. Uh, what did you think about his death?
That death had me in I was in the pits of darkness at that moment. Yeah,
Really? Honestly, it was
yeah.
sad, but like most people, it was really impactful for them. But for me, I wasn't really that sad to be honest. Like it was sad, but like I wasn't really like depressed because like I know some people personally who were like actually depressed. I was like, bro, it was sad. It was like
That
to
was me.
me,
I was
it was like a
depressed.
wholesome moment. Like especially when
Yeah, I was depressed at that moment.
like it was so wholesome when like he was finding the courage to get
When he
back
was
up and
dialoguing.
finish the message. To me, it was like a
Yeah.
wholesome moment. Like it was like really good.
I liked his monologue at the end as
Yeah,
well.
exactly. It's
So like
the monologue, and his
Yeah.
like him trying to like hype himself up or like give himself like the
But
motivation
do you know when
to
he was talking
give
about
the message
himself
out,
being a
the failure
failure?
and all that. Yeah, that was such a
Yeah, that was
sad
when
scene.
yeah,
That was sad.
I was sad.
He's basically saying he was like a failure and he's done nothing, eh? And even
Yeah. Oh
when he's had the opportunity, he's failed. Like he's dying.
yeah,
So yeah, that was pretty sad. And then his realization about like Naruto, choosing Naruto or like putting him on the path. So like
yeah,
he realized that his goal, like his his like purpose in life wasn't to be the hero. It was to bring about the hero. You know what I mean? To choose
yeah.
the hero. So like yeah, he realizes his purpose. Like he wasn't supposed to stop
Yeah.
pain then.
I
So yeah,
think
I think
he realized his prophecy at that moment, and then
yeah,
he fulfilled his part of the
his
prophecy
part,
right
yeah,
there.
true.
I think it was a great conclusion though
It
for his
was a great
character.
conclusion. Yeah, it was like a peak moment, like peak.
Yeah, it was poetic.
Mm. And then at the end, how like Naruto senses that he dies,
Yeah,
like it was like damn.
and also when doesn't Pain say that like if he knew like
Oh
my
yeah,
ability, if he knew what I was,
it
he
would
could
have
have done.
ended differently. Yeah. Do
Yeah,
you believe that?
and I agree.
You
I
reckon?
agree with it. Yeah,
What makes you think that? You think Jiraiya would have like been able to stop Pain then and there if he found out Pain's hidden hidden paths? Like,
I
you
think
think
he
he
would
would
have
have been able to
approached.
stop Pain?
I think he would have approached the fight differently if he figured that out first. He wouldn't have like gone in like gung ho like the way he did. So like
True, I think yeah,
he
he would
could
have
have used.
went about it differently. Yeah. He would
Yeah,
have like maybe tried to. No, I don't think he still would
I
have been
think he
able
would
to do
have done.
anything because there's too many variables. Like he didn't know like the abilities of each of the paints. Because what he
The thing
found
is,
out,
if he knew
what
there were
he
six,
yeah, what he found out was that the real one wasn't among them. So that's what he found out. What
and
we
he
found
found
out
out
in the
there were
paint up.
six pains.
Yeah, and that.
Yeah,
So I think his main intel was the fact that there was someone controlling him, controlling those puppets
yeah,
basically. So that was like the main intel that he gave. So yeah. Anyways, so that happens, and I think that's the end of Jiraiya the Gallant. Eh?
yeah. That
I think
is.
that would be in peak, honestly.
It has to be.
It
Yeah,
has to be peak, eh? Because like I think it's the backstory of Pain, and then him meeting his former disciples, and then like Jiraiya's conclusion. I think it's all peak.
yeah.
That's got to be in peak. So anyways, battle between brothers. I don't even think we
Just
need
put
to
that.
discuss it. That's going straight
Yeah,
in
put
peak.
that.
This
I think that's.
has been built up since the beginning of Naruto, literally.
Yeah,
I don't know, actually like maybe like
since
episode
episode
2, eh?
three
Episode
or
3
four.
when we get
Episode
introduced
four.
to Sasuke.
Yeah,
Like this is a like long time coming. So this is like a payoff for like 300 episodes of
when
Naruto
was it
basically.
Sasuke when he's walking to the Uchiha hideout, and then like you see like all the memories.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
and you just know that this is the build up. So this is the moment that we've
Yeah,
all been waiting for.
exactly. And it was such a I think I was glad that the anime gave us like a whole episode of like flashbacks and like build up because it honestly needed it. Like because we needed to be reminded about like the basically the
Stakes.
purpose like no, not the stakes but like the basically what happened to Sasuke and like
Yeah,
the backstory and
yeah,
context basically. So yeah, I actually appreciated um that whole I would say filler part. And then yeah, I guess it starts off with Sasuke looking for Itachi in a cave, eh? Right? And then he finds
yeah,
one of Itachi's clones and Itachi tells him
yeah,
to go to the Uchiha hideout, basically.
Yeah.
And then I think Team Hebi find Kisame, and Kisame orders the
He's
other
waiting outside.
members. Yeah, he orders the other members to just chill and don't interfere.
Mm.
So obviously, Suigetsu didn't really agree to the plan, so they go off and they have their own little fight. So yeah, and Sasuke, and then they meet. Sasuke meets Itachi after a long time coming. So
Yeah.
at this moment, what did you feel like at this very moment? Like what was going on?
It was just I just had goosebumps because
Yeah,
it was
honestly,
just like Sasuke as a character, like this was his pinnacle. So like Naruto's goal was to become Hokage, Sasuke's was to kill
this was his
his
goal, eh?
brother.
Like this is his
And
goal
now
right
he's
here.
standing
Right.
because we know how strong Sasuke is. Like we saw him fight Deidara, we saw him
Deidara.
fight,
Like
and then we
beat
know that like
Orochimaru.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's getting to that level. So like he could potentially beat Itachi right now.
Mm.
And I enjoyed like the start of the battle. So like, do you know the Genjutsu part?
Oh yeah, how they just
Oh,
flexing genjutsu thing, yeah.
and then I think
That
this
was
is
cool.
where like I loving, do you know, Itachi.
Yeah.
So like when I saw, I think Sasuke stabbed him, and then Itachi pointed, and then he's like Itachi's still sitting on the throne, and it
Yeah.
shows you like that his Genjutsu is another level compared to Sasuke. Like at this
Yeah.
moment,
Right, yeah, right. Because like in terms of like the genjutsu battle, I think it was kind of clear and obvious that Itachi was like he had the upper hand. I feel like for
yeah.
every move Sasuke had, Itachi was like one upping him basically until they just
Even
basically
two.
gave up. But what did you think of the scene where like Itachi was trying to do a head flick and then he just like points his finger like towards like the Itachi sitting on that chair? Like that has
That
got
was
to be like
aura.
one of the
Yeah,
best aura moments I've ever seen. Like honestly, that's one of the best moments
that
I've
is
ever
yeah.
seen.
That moment was
Like that
gold.
aura, like that moment was like the best peak aura moment ever.
Yeah.
Like it was like I was just like I think I must have got off my chair or like just like jumped up because that moment was so peak. Such a good moment. So yeah, that happens and I actually really like Sui what's his not Suigetsu what's the alloy guy?
He's
No, not Kisame.
oh Zetsu.
Zetsu. I actually really like Zetsu's narration of the fight
It's coming. Yeah.
because I wouldn't like it if it was Itachi or Sasuke explaining to the viewers like what they're doing. I feel like
Yeah.
someone had to be there and it had to be someone else.
To be a third party.
It had to
Yeah,
be
it
a
had
third
to be a
party.
new.
And like I
Yeah.
think Zetsu, he's like the perfect narrator because
Yeah.
he like we in the show we just see him as this guy who just like goes around and gets intel basically.
Collects.
So he was like the
Yeah.
perfect character for like for the for narrating this fight. So yeah, what was your favorite moment in this battle?
My favorite moment was probably I'd say Sasuke using do you know Kirin?
Oh yeah, honestly, that was yeah, that has to
That
be
moment was
that
yeah,
moment
it
was
has
so
to be
good.
there.
I think it was
Either
like
that or you know
everything. No, I think it's because like everything leading up to it, because like we find out that Sasuke was like spamming fire jutsus, eh, to set that
yeah,
up basically, and like he even like took into account Itachi's Amaterasu. So we know
yeah,
Sasuke's heard of like the ability, and he knows that it's fire based. So he brought out Itachi just so he can create um like air currents, like hot air currents,
yeah.
which will like rise into the sky and create like
Mm,
um in the show I think it was like thunderclouds, right? Because when you have low pressure and high pressure, you create like
yeah,
strong storm weather basically. So yeah, that whole setup, like that is like big brain.
yeah.
Like there's not many
Oh,
animes that use like real life real life physics,
geography.
geography, and
Yeah,
like that honestly was like big brain from Sasuke. the coolest thing I've ever seen, to be honest.
Yeah, we forgot to mention this, but what do you think about, do you know, Itachi's like monologue? So like his when he was talking about like him being Madara's apprentice and how he's gonna surpass him
Oh
by
yeah,
getting
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah. You're right.
eternal manga cure from Sasuke. Like, what do you think about Itachi then? So what were your like
Honestly,
thoughts?
I thought it was cold. Like, man, like I actually really like that scene where he's like he takes Sasuke in that flashback game, and then
Yeah,
he reveals his true intentions, well, like quote unquote true intentions, but then he goes like, I just wanted you to attain power, and then he goes like crashes out basically. Like that was such a
at that
peak
moment,
moment. That gave me
yeah, I
goosebumps.
thought Itachi was pure evil at that moment. I
Yo,
was
I actually
like,
felt that as well.
he's yeah.
That was such a
I think I
peak
forgot
moment.
about everything else. I was just like, he's on a different level.
Like that crash out was so so crazy to me. It just gave me
Yeah,
goosebumps. Yeah, you're right. That's crazy. We skipped that.
yeah.
What did you
And
think
then
of
just
before we move on to the fight? What did you think of the Madara review? Like
the
at that
reveal of
time, like
yeah,
how he we find out that Madara was the first one to discover about the Mangekyo Sharingan, how you have to kill your best friend, and then
yeah,
how he found out the other secret of getting eternal Mangekyo by swapping
yeah,
the eyes basically from another member.
yeah.
I
I
thought that
like the
was
mother
pretty
of
cool.
actually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
was
like
good.
I like the law on the Sharingan as well. So like the manga cure, how it leads to blindness,
Oh
and
yeah,
then
that was cool as well.
how to get eternal light. You need the eternal manga cure. So from like a sibling or like a close, I think they said a close relative.
Nah, it just said a
So
member.
like
Like it can be like
yeah,
it can technically be anyone, but you have to be compatible though, because it just
yeah.
doesn't work like between like everyone.
And
So
then
yeah,
like they always like they went to the flashback of like when Itachi goes that you'll be the third person
yeah,
to
yeah,
get
yeah,
the monk gun. And then now we know that it was Madara who was the first, Itachi is the second, and
yeah,
then Sasuke being the third. But obviously, like we know there's a few more, but
yeah, yeah.
Itachi was like he was capping it.
Mm,
But we never knew that at that moment.
right. So anyways, yeah, that was pretty cool. I think
Yeah.
you mentioned
Back to
that
the fight.
the Kirin was your favorite moment. I have to agree as well. Like to me,
Yeah,
that was just so cold and big brain that I was just like bamboozled basically. It was just so
yeah.
good. Yeah,
How
that
about the
had to be the
Susanoo?
best moment. Yeah, the Susanoo was another great moment. Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
I think my second favorite
I think
moment
I was
was
just
when
I think do you know when I
Itachi.
was watching the arc,
Yeah,
you know, for the first time, I was just like I was a bit confused with like all the Totsuka, the Yatamura,
Itachi was
everything like
stacked in that fight. He was
he
stacked.
was going crazy.
That was
Yeah.
crazy. I was like, Zetsu was just
The
saying,
cool,
"Oh, he's got this. Oh, now he's got that." It's like, "Oh, he's invincible." I was like, "Damn."
didn't he just say he's invincible? He goes, he's
Yeah,
invincible. I was like,
he was invincible in that moment. He had like a bloody like a mirror. He had a like a mirror shoot where it just reflects everything.
that reflects every
And then
jutsu.
he had that sword where
Imagine,
it seals things that it touches, like, bruh.
yeah.
In that
And the
moment, he was
seal
invincible.
broke forward. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that was wild. It just felt like he just got all the hacks there in that one scene. He's just like, give him everything.
Yeah, he was unstoppable then.
Yeah, and then like actually the moment with Orochimaru when he pops up, but before that like
Yeah, when he returns.
Sasuke is just like crashing out and he's trying to like squeeze out us like whatever power he has left. Like he's just forcing
Yeah.
something. And then I think Orochimaru's seven-headed snake pops up or eight-headed,
Yeah.
whatever.
The Hydra.
The
They call it the
Hydra looking
Hydra,
thing.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the eight-headed Hydra.
And then Itachi basically like cuts off the head of all the snakes until the last one, and
Yeah.
then we get that Orochimaru review where he just comes back. Orochimaru has like he's got to be like one of the worst characters to try and kill, eh? Like he's just like
You can't kill him. Yeah,
impossible to
it's
kill him.
impossible.
He's just like escaping, or
Bro,
like when he gets sealed, he just like he pops up out of like somewhere else. Like it's just like, bro,
yeah,
how do you even like stop this guy? To be honest,
bro's like Voldemort at this point.
yo. And so yeah, I think Orochimaru pops up, and the first thing he does is literally puke out a sword. I'm like, bro.
Yeah,
So
bro
yeah, and
does he doesn't stop.
yeah, that fella deep throats. His deep throat game is crazy.
Oh,
Anyways, I think then this is when Orochimaru he gets sealed basically, and that's how we found out Itachi has like Totsuka blade, which we
yeah.
mentioned earlier. It seals everything it touches. So yeah, and I think at this moment Sasuke is like defenseless, say, and he can't do anything. And like that moment when Itachi is like walking towards him,
Yeah, I think his
that
Sharingan
actually
goes off
looks
as well.
so creepy. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it does. Like that
yeah,
moment where Itachi's like a zombie walking towards him.
yeah. That was
I was
scary.
actually like, well, like, damn, this guy looks like a, he looks crazy, bro.
Yeah.
And then like,
What do you
bro,
think of the?
what did you think of the conclusion? How Itachi like tapped his forehead and just fell on his face?
I
Was
was
that like,
confused as hell.
yeah,
He was going for his eyes.
I was confused as hell. I was like, bro, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, it
So
was
yeah,
like I was like, what the hell is this? And then obviously it ends with like,
I think
doesn't Zetsu come out that
Zetsu was
Sasuke won?
commenting, eh? Yeah, Zetsu was commenting on like the fight was weird. Like, Itachi should have
Yeah,
dodged this. Itachi should have dodged that. He was coughing blood. So yeah, I think
but I never
at
like.
that point, I think at that point I was
Yeah,
thinking like I think he was just like weakened, like he was just sick, like he was just
yeah,
like
that's what I thought. Yeah,
he was just nerfed before the fight basically, which is true, which is what happened. But yeah, we don't know exactly what happens. Anyway, so I think the conclusion of that fight, that happens, and I think um
you
Obito,
want to talk about the reveal in this one? Let's
what's
because
that?
Pain Assault is like the battle between brothers. You want to talk about Itachi's like his real goal? You
Oh yeah, we're
want
getting
to
to
talk
that.
about that here?
Yeah, we're getting to that because remember we
Yeah.
also get the Obito review or the Madara review to
Oh
the
yeah, the
Konoha.
voice change.
Yeah, remember because like
Yeah,
he's stalling for time. He's trying to make sure that they don't interfere. And then Zetsu
yeah,
pulls up straight after Sasuke wins. And then Zetsu is like Sasuke's won. Itachi's dead. And then everyone's shocked. Even Naruto, because Naruto hears that as well.
yeah.
And
And he
then
goes
Obito is
kidding
like, and then Obito looks at Kakashi with his Sharingan, and Kakashi sees that. That moment was pretty like pretty
because then
peak,
he
eh?
say he goes, "It's just as I expected,"
It's just as I
and then
expected. And then like he eyes out Kakashi with his Sharingan, and the Kakashi sees the Sharingan. It was like he's spooked. He's like, what the hell?
yeah,
Yeah, that was a cool moment. And then they disappear, right? And then Obito, let's just call him Mana. Ah, screw it. We just call him Obito. Obito takes Sasuke, right? And he puts him in
it
the
ties him.
It ties him up and takes him to his cave or hideout.
Yeah.
So, do you want to talk about this next part since you brought it up? Sasuke's,
Yeah,
Itachi's
so
true intentions.
I think Obito was gonna reveal himself to Sasuke, so he was gonna show him his Sharingan. But before he could do that, Sasuke somehow he awakens the MS, but obviously he doesn't awaken it. We know that Itachi implanted the Amaterasu in his eye to kill Obito, and then Obito nearly dies there, but he uses the jutsu to get rid of it,
Right,
and then that's when Obito starts revealing Itachi's true mission and who Itachi was, because he goes that you don't know who your brother was, and Sasuke he goes that I do know. He goes that like my brother's like he wanted to take my eyes, he wanted to do this, but he goes nah, was a pacifist, and then that's when we get Itachi's backstory about who he really was.
yeah, yeah,
And should I go into like his backstory then?
yeah, yeah, sure, sure.
So we learned that Itachi was born like he was born during was it the third Great Ninja War? And then he saw
Yeah,
like the horrors of war.
it would have been the third. He would have been like 4 years
Yeah,
old apparently, and he was just wild. I
yeah.
think he was like
I think
4,
his dad used. Yeah, I think the novels mention it a bit more, but like
and he had his
we
first
learned
body
that.
at 4, right? Like he killed
Yeah,
that guy out like that was trying to like kill him.
yeah.
He was 4, like
So
that's
yeah,
crazy.
I think it was he was 4 years old because his dad used to take him because he wanted him to awaken the Sharingan at an early age.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
his dad just like, I think he wanted to progress him, but he never awoken the Sharingan. But when he looked at the war, it made him become a pacifist. So he hated like fighting. He never wanted wars to happen. And I think like there was a funeral, and then after that he tried to kill himself.
yeah. He did. He
You-
jumped off the
Yeah, do you
cliff.
remember that part?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But then he realized that there's no point in killing myself. I need to become strong so I can like deal with all these wars. So
Mm,
he focused his time on like training. He became the best in the academy. He would learn from Shisui, he'd learn from his dad, and he just like he excelled in ninjutsu, genjutsu, taijutsu. He
right.
became like one of the best ninjas
And we
at that
got that
moment.
reveal about Shizui because like this whole time we thought that Itachi actually killed Shizui, but then we get the food
Yeah,
picture where Shizui was basically jumped by Danzo, and he had to
yeah,
give off his eyes, give his eyes to Itachi. So yeah,
yeah,
we get that finally. But
yeah. And
what did you what's that?
we also get the fact that like it was the Hidden Leaf who ordered Itachi to
Oh yeah,
kill
you're
his
right.
clan
You're right. Yeah,
to
yeah.
either like
That was a big
to
reveal
not start
actually.
a war. Yeah,
That basically changes the trajectory of the show. Like that revelation
exactly.
where like the
Yeah,
Leaf Village was actually the one who ordered Itachi to do it, which was
yeah.
crazy. So yeah, let's talk about that actually. So like, do you agree with Itachi's action, or if not, like, can you understand like his
Think of
point
it
of
that
view,
way.
or is it too extreme?
I understand his point of view about like just he doesn't want a war to happen between the other villages or like the Uchiha
Yep,
and the Leaf, and then that would cause a war between like the other nations. So he wanted like one person to end it. But I
yep,
think his method like of killing his entire clan, I think that was wrong. I think the first plan they had where like Shisui was gonna I think he was gonna Genjutsu Fugaku,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then was that I think that would have been the best. So Itachi still had Shisui's MS in the crow. I think
True.
like
I
the
think
possibility you should have just Genjutsu'd him.
he could have used Shizui's eyes, eh?
Yeah, Kota Matsukami. Yeah.
Did Shizui use it once? Like, oh,
Now Shisui never used it then.
can we assume that Shizui used it once for him to know? Because then, like, let's
But
just
remember
assume.
Shisui had two eyes, so he had the other one that he would use regularly. So I think he could use that.
Okay.
But then he had the one that Itachi had, which was once every decade. I think
Hmm.
that was the one that was revealed.
Oh no, no, actually no. Because remember, Itachi said that he couldn't use it then. I think it was stated that he couldn't use it at that moment.
Oh,
I think it was actually stated that. So like that would have
yeah,
been the best solution, but I think it wasn't like it wasn't
yeah,
possible at that time because he I think the yeah that means that means Shizui would have used it. Because like, to me it makes sense that Shizui used it for him to know that there's a timer for it.
I think Shisui was going to do it, but then Danzo never wanted that. That's why Danzo he tried to take Shisui's eyes so he could do whatever he wanted.
Yeah. So
So I
I
think
think
that was the plan, but
then I guess the one that Itachi has was the one that Shizui used, right? Like it must have been used up in that eye. Because
yeah,
like I think Itachi said that he wasn't able to use Komotsu Kami until later on, which is why he gave it to Naruto then. But at that time he wasn't able to do it. Is that what was going on? That's what I'm assuming
that
because
might be.
I think that's what happened.
Yeah, it
I
might be.
remember Itachi saying it.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, anyway, so since we've uh say debunked that, do you still think Itachi made the wrong decision? And if so, what
No,
decision
I
would
think
you have
that
made?
was
Would you have sided with your family, or would you have done what he did? Because I honestly, I don't think there was any other decision he could have made. I think those two were his
yeah,
only options. Either that or run away,
I-
which would have been the same
yeah.
as
I think his,
letting the village massacre them.
yeah. I think I would have done the same thing, but I think I would have just like killed Danzo as well or something. Done something like that.
So you would have,
Yeah,
so you would have killed off your family and Danza.
yeah. Just kill off everyone, or just
Honestly,
like
nah,
go on.
I would have done the opposite. I would have rebelled against the village, and we all die.
on sided with
You
yeah,
know what I
side
mean?
with the
I'll
family.
take you down with me. But like, I guess Itachi was like you said, like a pacifist. He'll rather like he'll rather prevent war than like he would choose like killing his family over worldwide like or world
He
war.
was Itachi of
Like that's Itachi's.
yeah,
But like to me, I don't I can never agree to that. Like I would
yeah. I
rather
don't think he
side
was
with my family
family.
and go to war. Like I don't
Yeah,
care. We'll go to war. But yeah, that's me.
that's it.
That's obviously a difference in opinion. So yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Anyways, and what else do we learn?
So I think
Anything
Sasuke
else?
doesn't like he doesn't believe it at first, but then
Yeah, I think Sasuke is
Obito,
more like me. Sasuke would have been like me.
yeah,
He would have been like, nah, I'll side with my family. We'll go against the village. So like Sasuke
yeah,
and Itachi are like opposite. They have opposite views.
yeah.
So yeah.
And then
What
this is where you get the reveal that like Itachi could have killed Sasuke at any moment, like during their battle. It's
right,
like you could have died at any time, but like Itachi literally he played that battle to get rid of your curse mark and to
right.
make you as strong as possible.
Hmm. I actually really like the fact that like in the start of the fight, you know how Itachi had that monologue. He's like, your your reality is like could be someone else's illusion, which he was hinting at
Yeah,
the
he
fact
goes,
that like
yeah,
Sasuke was living a lie his whole life. Like he was living in
yeah,
an illusion that Itachi was a bad guy or you know, Itachi wanted to kill him. How that ties into this, how where like Obito also says that like you were just living Itachi's fantasy. Like you were always like Itachi was like basically controlling your life. Like
yeah,
he put you in this path, but the only problem was that he wasn't able to stop him from meeting Obito. But I guess his counter
yeah,
to that was implanting Amaterasu into Sasuke's eyes, hoping he would actually kill off Obito then.
yeah. He tried to plan it out.
Yeah, so I think that was where he failed. Itachi failed by letting Obito live, basically.
Yeah,
So yeah, that happens. And what did you personally think about Sasuke's difference in opinion? Because Itachi wanted Sasuke. Obito even told Itachi,
yeah,
Obito even told Sasuke what Itachi wanted. What did you think
yeah.
of Sasuke's decision to like go
No, I
against?
agreed. I
You
agree with
agree?
Sasuke. I
You
agree
think you think
wholeheartedly.
you think he's justified to go against Itachi's wishes, even though Itachi
100%.
sacrificed
I
everything?
Yeah, I think if you look at it from like the perspective of Sasuke, like his brother got like his whole life got destroyed by the fact that he had to protect the village,
Yeah, yeah.
and
So
that in
because like
turn
I
destroyed
think this is like a
his life as well.
controversial. I think that's a controversial like opinion because I feel like most people think that Sasuke was naive, which he was, but Sasuke
Yeah,
should have just went back to the village, which I don't agree as well.
no,
Like
that's
to
yeah,
me, if you really think that, I think you're foolish. Like that's crazy to me. I would do
yeah,
exactly what Sasuke's doing. Like you can,
mm,
yeah, like it's the right thing to do, but you don't care if it's right or not. Like you want
yeah,
justice. Like to me, justice is going against the village, if you ask me. So yeah, I agree with
Exactly.
Sasuke. I agree with Sasuke. Anyways, because like,
Yeah.
don't you feel like the community like they oppose Sasuke trying to destroy the village?
Yeah.
I think that's like the
I think
the
most
more
community they
the
hate.
more
Yeah, they
popular,
hate on.
yeah, that's the more popular
Yeah.
opinion. Because I feel like that's
Yeah.
why
So when
Sasuke
my
gets a lot of
attitude,
hate, eh? This is the reason why Sasuke
yeah,
gets a lot of hate.
I think it's unjustified though. I
Yeah, I
think
honestly,
you would agree with it.
I think like realistically, I think Sasuke trying to destroy the village is like the realistic outcome
Yeah.
of finding out the truth.
It
Like
makes the
that's how
most
I feel.
sense. Is what, like,
Yeah,
a lot of people would do that.
exactly. Anyways, I think at the end of this, Sasuke unlocks his Mangekyo, right? We see
Yeah.
his new Tomoe pattern. So yeah,
Yeah.
anyways, I want to talk about the plot twist itself. I think, in my personal opinion, this is like the top three plot twists of all time. Like I'm talking in every single media, in my opinion. Like this is like in my top three.
Yeah. I'd have to agree.
Yeah. So
I think.
honestly, this I think I actually cried in this episode. Not gonna lie, I was like 13.
Yeah.
So yeah, I actually cried. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie. I think I cried when I watched this episode, like the review part. I was like, damn,
Yeah.
I teared up. I'm not gonna lie. I think I would have been like
Yeah. When they showed
13 or
the
something.
flashback again,
Yeah, it was
when they showed the
sad, man.
flashback of Itachi and Sasuke again, and he's like, "Oh, I'm always gonna be your brother, even if like
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
you
That
need
that
to."
CNA, like
Yeah.
whatever you do, like I'll always
That
be.
moment,
Yeah.
yeah, that one hit deep right there.
Like he said something like, "I'll always be like an obstacle for you," or some shit like that, eh?
Yeah, for you to
For
overcome.
you to overcome. Like, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think we can move on. I think it's without a doubt it's in peak, so we'll leave it there
Yeah,
for
it
now.
has to be.
Pain assault. So I'm just gonna put that in
Right.
peak as well.
Before,
Let's just
before we
first off,
start,
before we start, look at this run, bro. Like from Jiraiya to Faded Brothers to Pain Assault. I think this is like the greatest trilogy of arcs, like
yeah,
of all time. I would put this and Attack on Titan. I'll put this on the same tier, like peak, like the best trilogy of arcs.
Kishimoto was in his bag
He
for
was in his
this, like,
bag
at the time.
during this run. Like it was just peak
Just
after peak after peak.
yeah.
Well, anyways, Pain Assault. Do you want to go
Before we
over it?
start paying,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, before we start that, we're 2 hours in. Shall we do this as a last one and then do the rest as part two?
Okay. So we can just talk about like the five Kage and the
Just
war.
finish off with Pain Assault, and then from 5 Kage till the end, we do that in a separate one.
Okay. Alright, because we're
Yeah?
like pretty much on the 2 hour mark, eh?
Yeah, 2 hour mark right now.
Alright, yeah. We'll finish off first part of Shippuden, and we can carry on
Yeah.
later. Fair enough. Okay. You want to go over pain real quick? Just do a
Yeah,
quick
so the
summary.
Pain Assault, yeah, so it starts off with Naruto, like, finding out the death of Jiraiya, and then you see his reaction. I
Right.
think, I don't know if it's a hot take, but I think Naruto's reaction to Jiraiya's death was, like, sadder than Jiraiya's actual death.
Yeah, see, that's
Do
what
you
I was
agree?
getting to. Yeah, that's exactly what I was getting to. So like when I watched
Yeah.
Jiraiya's death, I didn't actually feel that sad. Like I didn't really like it was sad, but like to me it was like the reaction of Naruto like finding out that he died was like what really hit to me.
Yeah.
So like that's exactly how I felt when I was watching it. So like when I saw like Naruto like eating the like when he got that popsicle and he was like alone and then what's his
Yeah,
name?
that moment.
Then Iruka when he
Iruka.
like split
Yeah.
it and he was giving him that speech, like man, that shit was so sad. Like to
Yeah.
me, that was what hit that moment.
That speech, and also Shikamaru talking to him about, like, how they need to step up now,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
how,
That was
like,
such a peak scene. Peak scene. You want
yeah,
to talk
they
about it?
need to be like sensei. Right. Second part of So doesn't like Naruto go and learn Sage Mode from here?
Uh, yeah. But before that, did you talk about the scene when Fugaku when he spills it and then Naruto's trying to blame Tsunade? Eh? He's like,
Rocky.
if
Oh, Fukusaku.
yeah, Fugasaku or whatever. He was
Yeah,
trying
yeah, yeah.
like Naruto was about to put like he was pinning the blame on Tsunade for sending them. Like that moment was actually pretty
Yeah.
like that was like bruh. But what
I
did
think it
you
was
what did
just.
you think it was unjustified?
Then
Like he
I look from Naruto's perspective. I understand like where he's coming
yeah,
from,
where he's
but
coming from,
like
yeah.
you can tell like how
I was
affected.
uncalled for. It was just like you didn't need to say that,
Yeah,
bro. It was like wow.
that's it. Yeah, like I know he's your sensei, but like Tsunade's known him more than like you've known him.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like,
Yeah. They're pretty
yeah,
much like brother and sister, eh? Low key.
basically,
Like they grew up together, they've like been through two wars together.
yeah.
So yeah.
I just remembered. Do you know does that Sasuke versus Killer Bee happen before this?
Sasuke vs Killer Bee. Oh no,
That's,
this is after. That's after. Sasuke vs
I'm
Killer
sure
Bee
it's
happens
before.
after Pain Arc. Sasuke vs Killer Bee.
No, no, no. Yeah, because I remember um basically Obito tells Pain to
Oh,
go
it
collect the
happens
nine
straight
tails.
after, eh? Yeah, it happens straight after.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right.
it happens
I
straight after the reveal.
we can talk about that real quick then. So
Yeah, we do a quick.
that was a pretty peak fight, not gonna lie. I was like it was like our first black character, eh? Our
Yeah,
first introduction to a black character. Do you think it was a bit racist that he was a rapper or nah, he's just it's whatever.
I think it's.
I think it
I
was
think it
cool.
was good.
I think it was like an homage. Like
Yeah,
some people think, oh, it was racist, but like, nah, I think it was more like an homage. Like he was just a cool guy,
that's it.
and he was like cool.
Yeah,
Like honestly,
and the fact he was strong as well.
I think if you watch the dub, I think it was bad. Like his rapping, like it was just terrible. But I think because I watched the sub, I didn't really I thought it was actually good.
I was watching the dubbed,
You
and
were watching the dub?
I
Ah,
enjoyed.
nah, I was watching sub.
Yeah.
So like I actually
Oh,
went back to watch it in sub and dub. That thing was so cringy. I'm glad I watched it in sub. But anyways, that's like yeah, it was such a good fight, and I think this is the first time I think Sasuke got like in Shippuden. This is the first time he got pressed and like you know
he got humbled in this fight.
he got humbled and like violated basically.
Yeah, he realized that he wasn't the top dog.
Killer Bee like violated his ass like,
Killer B
and then
was
he
he was going.
you know that scene where he was like he just stopped mid fight, pulled out his book and started writing like
Yeah,
some
started.
notes. I was like, bruh,
Yeah, started writing rhymes. Oh man.
that was disrespectful.
Yeah, I think Sasuke in this like he was just like with the MS. He was basically spamming it at this point. So I think
Oh
he
yeah,
put
yeah,
that
yeah,
Cloud Ninja
exactly.
in Genjutsu. He used an MS technique to put him in
Yeah,
Genjutsu. Like you could have done that with the base Sharingan. Why did you use the MS?
I think he was just flexing, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah, like in terms of like the fight, like I think like Kisame, Killer Bee's like techniques is like I think it's like one of the most u unique sword fighting styles that I've ever seen.
yeah,
How he
the eight
has like
sword
eight
style.
swords and he just has like swords everywhere basically. He's got one like in
Yeah,
his elbow, like between his elbow, and he's got like one like between his calf and his knee or his hamstrings,
yeah,
and he's got one like on his neck or whatever, because he's got
yeah.
one
The
on his
neck one is
mouth.
good.
I was like, bro, how do you
Yeah,
even like control that? But like his fighting style is so like elite. Like how he's just like spinning around and like
and I think this is the first time we see like a Jinchuriki like able to control
oh
their
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, you're right,
actual.
you're right. Yeah.
So like the fact that he can go into like version 2 like so easy,
Mm,
and then he can go into like full Tail Beast state as well. So you
right.
see like how
How
he's
Naruto could be
mastered
a like how Naruto this is
power.
like Naruto if he controlled like
Yeah,
the nine tails basically. Yeah.
basically.
And also when Killer Bee turned into like the eight tails, like I actually thought
Yeah.
they would finish. They I was just like, damn, what the hell are they gonna do
Yeah, I
now?
thought
Bro, like
yeah.
he literally
And there's,
wasted Suigetsu in that form.
I don't know how the hell they survived that.
Yeah, like honestly, that's some plot armor
Was it
to be honest.
Amaterasu, wasn't it? Yeah, the
Yeah,
Amaterasu
that's how
saved
Sasuke was able to defeat
Korea.
yeah,
Yeah.
honestly, bro, like that was such a like that's such a cop out, eh? Like Sasuke is so lucky he had Amaterasu. Without it, I
He
think he would
died
have
like
lost.
3 times in that fight.
Yeah, like Sasuke would have
I think
lost if it wasn't for that.
Jugo saved him once, Karin saved him once, and I think
I think
Suigetsu saved him once as well.
Karin saved him first with the swords, because you know, like Killer
Yeah,
Bee just stabbed him with like a couple swords on him. Karin saved him
yeah.
first, and then Jugo saved him second with the
Yeah, when you ripped out his
ripped
basically
out his
like the
chest. Yeah.
top half of his chest.
Mm.
And then Suigetsu saved him, and I think he was trying to fire off the when he got into the full tail beast state.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that was a peak
And then,
fight.
yeah, that was a good fight.
And then last thing before we move on, I think then we find out like he's like the brother of the Raikage,
Right.
basically the
Yeah,
Kage of the Cloud Village. So yeah, that
yeah,
was a pretty like cool review. So yeah, that becomes
yeah. That
important
was good.
later on. And the
Yeah,
fact that they found out that it was Sasuke who did it and Uchiha, and they found out that
yeah,
Sasuke was part of the Akatsuki now, which is a
yeah.
major detail for later on.
Precisely.
Anyways, Pinnock. Just
Back to the Pinnock.
yeah. Uh,
Right,
did we
so we
go
talked
over
about
like
the
a
Naruto moment.
quick summary? Did we ever do
Yeah,
that?
Naruto
We already.
moment we talked about.
I see. Yep.
Um, so now Naruto goes to Mount Miyaboku
Yep.
to learn Sage Mode, and then the people in the Leaf Village they're trying to find out like the mystery of Pain. So I think they get the information from Jiraiya. So they have Pain's corpse, they have the message that Jiraiya left, and then I think it's Naruto who's the one that finds out that it's related to the book,
Ah,
and
yeah,
they
yeah,
find out the code. The real
yeah,
Pain is not among them.
yeah, exactly.
So they
Because you
have that.
notice there's like because they think it's like the letter nine or some shit, eh? But it's actually like a
Yeah.
symbol.
Is
It's
it
a symbol, like
katakana?
katakana.
Yeah,
Yeah.
katakana. Yeah,
How about the fact that Joai was able to memorize his whole book and pick out letters to
that's
make a word?
crazy.
That's crazy. So he was able to basically choose certain certain letters in his entire book to read out his code basically or his
To
message.
do that in the mid
Like
in the
to
middle
do
of
that
battle as well.
to do that in the middle of battle, like bro, you must have read his book like a billion times for him to know exactly what letter, what space, like where it is in the book. Like that's
But
wild.
that's Shikamaru level
Wait,
stuff
let's
right
just
there.
see how crazy that is. Cause like, wait, how many? What was the message? The
The real
message
pain is not among them.
Jiraiya left. Let's just see how many
Wasn't it the real
letters.
one is not among them?
Yeah, the real one is among us.
I think it's 7.
The real one is not among them. What's that? Three. Does spaces count or not?
Spaces don't count.
The real one, that's three, that's four, that's seven, that's 10, 12, 15. What's that? 15,
No, no, no. It
16,
was
17,
each
18,
word.
19,
So it
20,
was
21, 22, 23. So about 24 letters. You had to pick out
yeah.
24 like sections or like
No,
points
no,
of
no,
the
no. It
book.
was 7 sections.
What
It
do you
was
mean?
7 sections because it was
Oh,
each
there.
letter. So the
It was
real
like,
one.
it was like
Yeah,
this.
can you see that?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
So
yeah.
that's kind of put out.
That's
And then
crazy.
there's yeah 3, and then the other ones.
So this is the actual message.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
That's crazy. I don't know how you can what is this? Like page number, like row, like bruh.
I think it's page number, and then yeah row, and then letter.
That's crazy. Anyways, so yeah, the fact that they found out the message or they were able to decode it,
Yep.
and
And
what
then
else?
back to the village. So Pain pulls up, doesn't he? So I
Yeah,
think
yeah, yeah, yeah. He just pulled
the
up.
episode starts off like really happy. So like everyone's just like enjoying the sun, enjoying the leaf, and the next thing you know, Pain pulls up,
Mm,
and then he infiltrates, and then they start like basically destroying the leaf and
mm.
trying to find information about where Naruto is,
Yeah, but
and then you
before that,
find out
so like
that
you know how Pain went into the village was actually pretty smart, eh? Because there's a barrier around the village, right? Like 360. So
yeah,
it's like a sphere around the village. So like basically, Pain knew that they would get picked up as soon as he entered. But
yeah,
what he did was he sent one of the Pains to go in, right?
animal pack,
So that way,
yeah, the
yeah. So
animal,
that way, while that Pain could summon everyone else. So like
yeah,
like in the point of like entry. So when Pain was like infiltrated, like when he went into the barrier,
yeah,
they were able to sense that he entered, but they weren't able to like pinpoint like there were like multiple members that went in because Pain summoned them after he entered. So that caught them off
yeah.
guard, remember? So like they didn't expect that.
So
They
they
were
thought it
just
was,
yeah,
yeah,
they thought it was just one
they
person
assumed it
basically.
was one enemy, but
Yeah.
then they saw like several people
So yeah, that
several
was
battles happening.
exactly. So they didn't expect like it was like a large scale like throughout the whole village. They just thought it would be like in
Yeah,
one point of the village. So like that was cool. Yeah. Anyways, you can
that
carry
was
on.
cool. Yeah, so Pain infiltrates, then he's trying to get information about Naruto, and we
Yeah.
find out that the Leaf, these lot, they don't snitch. So they're built different, the Leaf Village. And there was like a couple battles. You see like teams, you see like Sakura in the hospital helping out Shikamaru. He's trying to protect Kurenai and the child. And
Yeah.
then you also see Iruka, and then Iruka's about to get killed, and then next thing you know, the goat
Konohamaru.
himself.
The
No, no,
young.
forget
Hey, wasn't
the
that
goat
Konoha?
himself. No, no, it was Kakashi.
Oh, you talking about oh when he came to help Iruka.
Yeah, so Kakashi was
Ah,
first,
yeah,
then it
yeah.
was Konohamaru.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So Kakashi pulls up, and Pain acknowledges Kakashi. So you
Yeah,
know
that
that
was
Kakashi's worldwide,
yeah,
another
yeah,
level.
yeah. Yeah, the fact
And
that
their
like Pain
battle, I
was the fact that Pain like he get addressed him and like he was like, "This is your title." It's like, oh, so
think he
you
said,
are Kakashi.
I'm honored
He,
to, yeah,
yeah, he's like, "I'm honored to meet you, Kakashi of the Sharingan."
yeah.
I was like, wow. Well, did he call him Kakashi of the Sharingan or Kakashi Copy Ninja?
Kakashi the Copy Ninja.
Oh, he called him by that. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
And then we see that battle, it was like, so Kakashi in like two moves, he figured out Tendo Pain's
Tendo Pain's
ability.
abilities, eh? Yeah.
It shows like Kakashi's on another level compared to like everyone else.
Yeah, because we know like Kakashi is like one of the got the highest battle IQ in the show. Like
Yeah.
he's like one of the top fighters in the show and the
Naruto
smartest.
said in like, yeah, he's smarter than Shikamaru.
I don't know about that to be honest. Do you agree with that? I don't.
I don't agree with it, but I think like in terms of battle IQ, like in the heat of battle, I think
Oh
Kakashi might
yeah, I
be
feel like
one
yeah, I
of,
feel like yeah, I feel like Kakashi like is better while fighting, but I think
yeah.
if you were to like
I think
have
to make
someone
battle plan, to make,
plan out like
yeah,
extensive without like any pressure, you would always pick Shikamaru. But I agree, like in the
yeah,
heat of battle, Kakashi's your guy because like he can like
yeah,
fight while devising a plan. Because I feel like Shikamaru, he's always like hindered. He's always like just chilling in the background while someone else is like protecting him. See, I get
yeah.
you. Yeah.
And
Anyways, I
this is
think
the moment,
yeah, go for
yeah, this is the moment in which I dropped the show for 1 week.
it.
So yeah, when I saw Kakashi die, I couldn't deal with it. I was
Yeah, yeah.
finished.
Honestly, for some reason, I cared. Like it was sad, but like I don't know. Maybe I'm just heartless, but like I didn't really like cry or anything.
Now I
I didn't.
cried.
I didn't.
I
I didn't.
crashed out.
I thought it was like I was like, damn, he died. Anyways, I think I was just too hyped to just give up
When I
watching.
saw,
I just watched the next
do you know when?
episode back to back to back.
Yeah, do
I
you know
was
when I
just
saw like his dad and he met his dad,
yeah, yeah.
and then Tsunade confirmed that he died, like when she broke that pillar.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's how we
But
know. Like, oh, he's dead, dead. Like he's dead for real.
yeah, because I think she goes to Choji that you can save your dad, and he goes, "What about Kakashi?" And then she never said nothing. So from there, like I was like, "All right, he's dead." So I was depressed. So I dropped the
Yeah.
show for a week, I think, and
Uh,
then I picked it up
oh yeah,
after.
because you watched Naruto like recently, yeah.
I was busy. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Because at the time I wasn't like I didn't have that like I didn't
yeah.
my analysis and like my I wasn't developed. So to me it was just pure entertainment. Like I wasn't thinking. So yeah. Anyway, so
And
like, what did you think of like like Kakashi's big brain, like his like the way he figured, like the way he implements his like plan, what he did,
I think
like
his plan was flawless.
it was
And I
like low key.
think if he had more chakra, let's say he did, he'd be like, I think he would have beaten Pain. If
Bro, there's no way you said that. You think he would have beaten Pain if he had more chakra? That's cap.
he had more chakra, he
Bro,
would have beaten Pain.
Naruto struggled against that one Pain by himself.
No, no, no,
There's no way
no.
Kakashi would have.
You know, the two he fought, I think he would have beaten both. Because he
You
was
mean?
about to beat Diva Path, but then it was the Ashura Path that saved the Diva Path.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I see.
Yeah. So I think
Nah,
he would have beaten those two, but then remember the King of Hell one? He would
yeah.
have revived both of them. So
Hmm.
obviously, like he would have lost then after.
I
But I
don't
think
agree with you.
those two, that battle, I
I
think
don't.
he would have
I
beaten.
don't think. I don't think he would have beat Nintendo. Like, there's no way he would have beat Nintendo Pain, the main one.
But I think the
Nah,
Tendo
he.
that fought Naruto was different though. Because remember the Tendo that was fighting Naruto, he got closer to Nagato, so he got stronger.
Nah, he didn't. Remember, they were still in the middle of the village.
No, no, no. He started running closer.
Oh yeah, as yeah. When he was running closer, he gets more powerful because
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
the
because
signal is
the other
stronger.
ones were dead,
No, but I'm
so
saying
the other
like,
ones were dead.
and
Well,
even when they were fighting, I don't think Kakashi had a chance because like that Pain was just chilling. I don't think he took Itachi that seriously. He took Kakashi that seriously. I think he was like underestimating Kakashi then. Like I don't think
no, I don't
Kakashi
think
had any chance.
you.
I don't believe it.
No, I believe it.
Just based on the fact that like seeing Pain fight Naruto like face to face, I think Naruto actually surpassed Kakashi in this arc. Like I'm not even trolling. Like Sage Naruto was
Yeah,
stronger
yeah,
than this
and I,
Kakashi.
I
And
agree. But the thing is, Naruto's battle against Pain was different to Kakashi. So Kakashi's like he only had to fight two of the Pains. Naruto had to fight all six, but Naruto had intel and
hmm,
Kakashi never.
true, I guess.
Yeah,
Well, I guess yeah. I mean that makes sense, but I still don't agree that Kakashi at any point was like could have 1v1 Tendo Pain. There's just no way.
I think his combo is too OP.
Like even that, like I don't think Pain would have just let him combo him because like he was struggling to do it against Deidara. So I don't think Pain would have given him the
No, no, but
opportunity.
no, no, but that was the Deidara fight. But if you look at in the Pain arc, like how he comboed the nail like straight off.
Hmm.
If he could do that, he can easily just like headshot Pain.
Fair enough. I guess yeah, maybe that's possible. But yeah, I
But the
guess
thing
like
is, it's all
his stamina is like
hypothetical.
what lets him down. Like
Yeah,
how their Mangekyo drains his chakra a lot.
yeah,
Hmm. Well, anyways, him meeting his father was pretty sad. That was like wow.
that was
I
yeah.
was like damn. Okay. Anyways, yeah, that was pretty sad. What happens next after that? So I think
So while
a lot of
yeah, while
side
that's
battles, eh?
happening, yeah, I
Like I
think we
think
should skip past those.
now there's one I want to bring up though, like the Ibiki. You know how he's interrogating
Oh yeah,
the
Konohamaru's
summoning
teacher.
pain? Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh no, I wasn't talking about. Is that Ibiki? I'm talking about the interrogation guy.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
that's
Ebisu.
Ibiki.
Now Ibuki is the other one. Yeah, the
Yeah.
interrogation into.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we can talk about Konoha after, but like I want to bring up Ibiki. That was pretty cool. And then this is like the first time we see the Ambu Black Ops do something. You know,
Oh
they were
yeah.
like they were summoning like this giant like bloody this pillar, and then they
Oh,
were
that
using
furnace.
lightning
Yeah, the
release.
furnace.
Like bro, that was like the
Yeah,
best showing of the Ambu. Like
that
to
was
that
good.
point, it was the first time they were
Yeah,
actually doing something. And then there was this
yeah.
scene when Ibiki put the summoning pain into like an illusion and like into the
Oh,
interrogation room.
Iron.
Yeah, and then like
Yes,
basically
Iron Maiden.
yeah, and then he was trying to like get Pain to like break, but then he didn't realize
Yeah,
that Pain was a corpse. So they literally
yeah.
felt no pain. So like this it was literally pointless. And then like that
And
Pain
then
just
she's
summoned she summoned like a literal like summoning from his body, like bro.
straight from his
I don't
body.
know
That
how
was
he didn't
mad.
get ripped apart like into like
No,
nothing.
no, no. He did get ripped apart, but
Nah, he
it
did,
was
but
Katsuki.
I feel like he shouldn't have been like
She
a
was
pope. He should have been a pope. Like imagine Gamabunta getting summoned out of someone. Like he shouldn't even be
yeah,
alive. Like he should be in like a puddle right now.
that's true. Yeah,
But anyways, yeah, that was actually pretty cool. And then we see
yeah,
Konohamaru. That was actually like wow, that was pretty
yeah. He
peak.
saved his teacher.
He
Yeah,
saved Ibisu, and even like Ibisu's speech about like yeah,
Naruto.
at first we didn't like him, but you know now we will never like give him up. He's one of us. Like that speech, that was like so
That was a
good.
great speech. Yeah,
That was low key peak. Like it was a good ass scene.
yeah.
So yeah, and then we also learned that Naruto taught Konohamaru or Sengan in that moment, and he beat that pain, which was wild. Wait, actually, did he
That
beat
was
that pain? Because like he couldn't have, because that was the one who
incapacity.
was yeah, he incapacitated him. Because like that was
Yeah, it
the
was King.
actual that's the king of
Yeah,
Hawaii
the one who was
who
yeah
brings
summoning the others.
yeah. So he wouldn't have died then. Yeah, true, you're right.
No.
But anyways, and then I guess we can move on to Pain's
Naruto.
no no. Remember when Pain was put up to Tsunade and they had that speech?
No, no, before that, remember before Naruto's training Sage Mode, and then
Oh
Tsunade
yeah.
asks for him to return, and then Danzo kills the messenger frog, the
Dude,
toad. That was
that
crazy.
was crazy, bro. Bro, like, and the fact that
Yeah,
Danzo did that so the Leaf Village can be destroyed, and then he would come up and like basically rebuild it when everyone's dead. Like,
yeah,
bro,
he's an idiot.
that's crazy.
What are you talking about?
No, I mean, like
Like, imagine, like,
not at the time, like people were evacuating into the mountains, right? So there were people alive,
yeah,
but like the fact that he would like sacrifice the whole village for his own selfish purpose of becoming Hokage, like that's
yeah.
wild. Yeah, but
But
anyways,
the thing is, like, they always used to say that, oh, he puts the village before himself, but
like he does it.
I
Eh?
think
I think that's
that
cap.
was selfish. Yeah,
Like I don't think he's actually putting the village up before himself. He's actually putting himself over the village.
yeah, that
Cause
was
it,
his agenda.
yeah, that was his
Yeah,
agenda. Like he was just like capping, to be honest.
exactly.
But anyways, you can carry on. You were saying,
Yeah, so Naruto was training Sage Mode, so we learn about like how Naruto and how Jiraiya and how I don't think they mention it, but the fourth Hokage, like the new Sage Mode, and then Naruto had to learn Sage Mode, but he couldn't learn it properly
yeah, yeah, you're right.
because yeah, he couldn't do the final step,
Yeah.
which
Wait, don't
was
let's not talk about what he did because that'll come out later. Because
yeah,
you know
yeah, yeah,
how we figure out like what he does to combat Kurama, stopping him from like stopping
yeah,
Fugaku or Fukasaku from actually bonding with him. Remember?
yeah.
Because
You want to
like,
talk about then
nah, yeah,
Pain pulling up to
yeah,
Tsunade?
we'll talk about Tsunade first before that. So yeah,
Go on.
so like I said, Pain pulls up to Tsunade, right, and he's trying to get the information on where Naruto is. Basically, she
Yeah,
doesn't want to give it up, and while they're talking, she triggers him. So, so she says something to Pain is like he gets pissed off, right? I think she says uh like you don't have the right, or like your pain is like you can't justify destroying the leaf village just because
Yeah,
we came over to you and like we caused your village to like fall apart, and that basically triggers Pain, right? He gets triggered and he's like,
yeah,
oh yeah.
crushing
So
it.
he flies
Yeah,
up to he flies up in the sky. He's like, no Pain, and then he just like
yeah.
literally like destroys the village in one shot. He
Shinra
just
Tensei straight
and
from the
that
god.
scene, like that's such a peak scene. And like in the manga,
Yeah,
it actually looks better. Like the panel, right? I know
the
you've seen the
drawing of
panel.
the.
Like the panel looks so peak. Uh,
Now I think that justifies Kishimoto being the best artist in the big
oh,
group.
the Almighty Push scene
I
manga.
heard
Like
it
in
took
the
them like,
manga, it's so raw. Look at this, bro.
yeah,
Like the anime, it was cool, but look at this, bro. This is the manga.
manga's another
Like
level.
this shit looks so good.
That's the
But yeah,
greatest panel of.
you think this is the greatest panel of all time? I think it's because like in terms of art, it's definitely not. But in terms of aura, context,
Yeah,
and like stakes, this
I
has got to
think
be one of
detail
the
as well. Yeah, look at the
yeah.
detail of.
It has to be one of the greatest panels of all time.
Yeah,
But anyways, yeah,
even
that
like message behind it.
yeah, exactly. So like yeah, Itachi Pain destroys the village, and
And I think this is the first time we see like a jutsu of that level. So like
yeah, exactly.
village size that can destroy an entire village.
Yeah, and then once he does that, we see like the effects and the consequences of that ability. Then
Oh, yeah, Naruto gets punished.
just as he's landing,
Yeah,
Naruto pulls up, and then
yeah.
he also pulls up in like the coolest way you could ever pull up. Like it's like one of the best
I think it's the
introductions or
best one of the best entrances
best
for
entrances.
MC.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Naruto enters pain battle. Like that's like he was on a toad who was on another toad that was on another toad.
yeah,
Like bro, that shit was so good. Where's the scene? So like, hey, like there's Naruto. What the hell? So Naruto's on this toad, who's on this
yeah.
toad, and then
Kamakichi, and then
two other
Gallant.
toads. There's like two other toads
Yeah,
beside him. I was like, bruh, you couldn't have came like you know you couldn't have done any better than that. So this
yeah.
was like such a peak moment. One of the best
Peak.
entrances of all time. Peak. So yeah, you wanna carry on?
Yeah, shall we talk about the battle now?
Yeah, yeah,
So
we can talk
Naruto
about the
versus.
battle now.
So there's like I think the battle you can split it into like three parts. So the first part is when Naruto is fighting the six paths of pain, and then he beats the first path. I think what's it called again? He's in Sage mode. He uses the Rasen Shuriken, and we learned that he can throw the Rasen Shuriken now.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's destroying the paths of pain. I
Mm,
think he gets rid of four easily, and then he gets out of Sage mode, and then he gets captured by I think it's the one that can absorb the jutsu,
yeah, yeah.
and then he
So
makes him
basically
absorb the
he now
nature and
yeah, yeah, true. Now but you missed the part where he had that layered plan. So remember he first he took out the soul one, and then he figured out that there was the one that
the animal.
brings people. No, no, the ones that brings
Oh
people
yeah,
back
yeah,
to
yeah.
life. So he had to get rid of that, right? So he had like a layered plan
The
where
King of Hell.
first he
Yeah,
would like do a smoke bomb. He hurled like a Russian shuriken, but that was actually a transformation. Like that was the real Naruto.
yeah,
So he hurled the Rune out as a Russian shuriken. So the pain that absorbs caught him, So he
Mm.
absorbed the substitution, but then he also tried to absorb the shadow clone, but he realized that that was the actual Naruto, right?
Yeah,
So the actual Naruto tackles him. Then behind that, he throws another Russian shoot again, right? He throws it at the main pain
yeah,
Tendo, and then just as that's going on, he actually jumps. He actually jumps in the sky, and
yeah.
he takes out the one that resurrects.
King of Fight.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
takes out the one that resurrects you with two Rasengan barrages. But then as
Oh
he's
yeah,
about
there was
to,
some.
yeah, as he's about to take out the one who absorbs pain, like he pushes the other two, like he pushes Naruto away. So then it's just left. Then it's just that pain who absorbs and Tendo the main.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then that's when we find out, and that's where we get to that moment where Naruto gets pinned by the um the absorbing pain, and
yeah,
he uses that opportunity to gather sage energy, and then we also see the consequence of taking in too much nature energy, and then he becomes
yep,
a stone toad basically. Because like during the
yeah,
training, there's two things we learn. One is like if you take in too much of the energy, like you become a stone, and the other one was you have to be still to in order to gain nature energy. And we
yeah.
know that Naruto had a problem with amassing nature energy or having Fukasaku on his shoulder
You
because
could have had him on his shoulder.
Kurama wouldn't allow it. And so
Yeah,
his genius idea was to have clones to amass energy and to amass nature energy, and whenever he needed it, he would reverse summon them into the battlefield and release them. So yeah, that's what we
yeah.
were talking about previously, which is like something Naruto would do. Like that's such a Naruto move. Like he uses the shadow clone to like the best ability. Like the way he
It's the
used the
only
shadow
thing.
clone, yeah, the way he used the shadow clone in that moment, like he used the shadow clones to just sit at Mount Miobilku to like amass energy, right? Like
Yeah,
that's such a big brain play from Naruto, which is why he was able to like overcome the like being still and amassing energy. Because
yeah.
like, I
The
think
weakness
Jiraiya,
of.
yeah, exactly, the weakness of nature energy. So like the way
Yeah,
Jiraiya was able to do it, it was because he had the grandma and the grandpa frogs on his
yeah.
shoulder, doing it for him. So Naruto wasn't able to do that himself. So yeah, that was cool.
Mm.
Anyways, you can carry on. Um, what else happens in
Yeah.
the game
So,
plan?
so when that one gets, I think it's the Praetor Path when he gets destroyed. Naruto tries to fight with Tendo, but then Tendo basically he gets his powers back and he destroys him,
Yeah,
and then he captures the Nine Tails.
yeah, like
So he puts a rod.
even before that, remember? So like the Fukasaku and the Mama Frog, they're trying to put him into like a Genjutsu game, remember?
And that happens. That
Then
happens after
then
this.
that happens after.
Yeah, it happens after. So
Oh yeah,
that's when
okay, I
he,
see. So he's
yeah, the
pinned
Black
on the
Rod.
ground, eh? He's pinned on the
Yeah, he
ground.
pins him first. Then they try to put him in the Genjutsu.
Right, right, right.
So the Frog Song.
Yeah, yeah.
Then he kills Fukasaku.
Yeah, that's
So he
actually
stabs
crazy. Like
Fukasaku.
Fukasaku
Yeah,
actually died, eh? Like he was dead. Like he
yeah,
was
he
like
was finished.
actually dead. Oh yeah.
And then Hinata jumps on the battlefield. She tries to save him. She confesses her love.
Yeah, that was actually a really good scene. I really liked that scene.
Oh no, 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 before that was Pain's speech.
Oh yeah, about how Naruto would combat like the cycle of
Yeah,
hatred
so
and
how
like
would
what
you
he
deal with
how would
the
you deal it?
cycle
And
of hate?
then Naruto was like, I don't know. So
Yeah, he
like
never knew the answer.
Pain was like one up on me. He just like
Yeah.
he gave Naruto a problem Naruto had no idea how to solve.
Yeah, he goes that I need you for the solution of my problem. So he goes that if
Mm,
you have a better solution, then by all means tell me. But Naruto couldn't tell him, so
yeah, yeah.
he's like, all right,
Honestly, like
you.
that's such a complicated like question. There's no way someone can give you an answer right off the bat. Like You know, to me that was just like a crazy question to ask, anyways, and like expect anyone to know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was cool. And what did you think of the full quote though? You know how it's like vengeance just creates more vengeance, and then there's a cycle of hatred,
Yeah,
and then
vengeance creates hatred, and then
yeah,
cycle of hatred. Yeah,
that was a top quote actually, low key, top
I
quote
think
in the show.
that's is the
It's
best
like one of
speech,
the
isn't
best
it?
speeches. It even had the
Yeah,
MC confused and perplexed. He didn't know what to say.
exactly.
Anyways, and then yes, I think Hinata confesses her love, and then Pain is like confused. He's like, "Why are you even trying? Like you're gonna die." And then she is like,
Yeah,
"This is my ninja way, like you know." And she's like, I love you." And then Pain just like
yeah.
picks her up, throws her down, and
Destroys.
stabs her basically. And like she's bleeding out, right? And then Naruto sees that, and he just like goes like four tails.
Yeah, hero.
He goes
Yeah,
straight into four tails. He doesn't even like go through
hotels of the
one,
rift.
two, three. He goes
Yeah,
straight to four tails, which like shows how much anger he was saying, like how angry he was. He was like
yeah.
pissed off, and you know like the audacity, Pain. Like he was like, "Do you hate me now?" Like the
Oh,
audacity. That was so, bro. That was such a like a
oh,
troll. That was such a troll move. Bro was
such a
like,
good line though.
bro was
Yeah,
baiting to the max.
is yeah, rage baiting basically.
He was like, that's like pure rage bait. He just like
Yeah,
stabbed his friend in front of her and asked him if he hated him. Like, bro,
yeah.
that's crazy. Well,
And
anyways,
then
and
we get the
then
controversial fight.
yeah.
So I think this is the fight that divided the fan
Ah, the
base.
community,
I
and yeah, exactly.
personally, I love the fight. I think the fight was brilliant, but a lot of
Yeah.
people find it too.
Yeah. I think
But
I love the majority of the fight, but there was like one scene that I didn't actually like. It was just like a
yeah,
blurb. You know the scene I'm talking about, eh? So
I
Pain
think I do.
versus Naruto. Uh, there was like a specific scene where it just looked like
This is the part where he says, "My pain
blobs.
is far greater than yours."
No, I actually like this, like, because like no
Yeah,
one is stopping the screen, like pausing the screen and like critiquing something like that. It's like nah.
yeah.
The scene that was so obvious to me was like it was when Pain was running and they were flying. Remember when they were flying when Pain was flying
Oh
in
yeah,
the
yeah. I remember
sky
that.
and then
Yeah,
all you see is just this blob. I actually thought that was a bit
yeah,
cheesy, to be honest. It
yeah,
was like lazy. But otherwise, other than that, I think the fight was perfect, to be honest.
yeah. And then I think this is where we get Naruto and then the fourth Hokage, so Minato.
Oh yeah, exactly, yeah.
That scene, I
That was
think
such
it
a
was
peak scene, eh? That was such
one
a
of my favorite
peak
scenes. I
scene.
love that scene
I think it
when he's
was like
speaking to his.
I think it was like the lead up to that as well. It was like you know how Naruto was like, I don't know what to do. Like somebody save
Yeah,
me. Then he's like his
he's like
seal was like his
trying.
seal was like
Yeah,
leaking. It just looked yuck. Like
yeah,
it was like leaking, and then he was like walking possessed, trying to rip off the seal. Like that whole lead up to
yeah.
that, and like it was so peak. The OST hit. Yeah, you're right. But what was your favorite moment in the pain fight, like in the
The whole
last fight?
fight.
Yeah. No, not the whole
Uh,
fight. I guess you can talk about the whole fight, but what was your
yeah.
favorite moment in the pain fight? Like pick out a particular scene.
I don't know. The one moment that like goes for me is, do you know when Naruto asks like, do you know about Kakashi? So it's not even
Oh
in the
yeah.
fight. There's a
Nah,
part
yeah.
where he goes that
Oh yeah, you're right. He's like, "Where's
goes, I
Kakashi?"
can
And then he just
the
like
energy,
he's
and he
so focused, he doesn't
yeah,
react to it. He's like, "Okay,
yeah,
yeah, I
and he
understand."
goes right, I see,
Yeah, the
and then
maturity in
he
that
just
scene, eh?
carries on.
The maturity in
Yeah,
that scene was
I
like,
love that
wow.
moment.
Yeah, you're right. For me,
What do you?
it would be like the moment Naruto goes into 14, like that moment when
Yeah,
Pain's like, "Do you hate me now?" Like that rage moment. To me, that was like my favorite scene. Oh, that and oh, we forgot the scene when Tsunade. Remember, Tsunade was like, "I'll fight you now," and then
Yeah.
Pain sent the animal path one, the one with the
That
cyborg,
is the ultimate path.
and then Naruto like one shots it.
Yeah.
Like that is like
Yeah, that
that
part
is
was
such
good.
a peak moment. I think that was my second favorite moment. This moment,
Yeah. Yeah, that one.
such a. Why does it look like this? What is this?
It's the one
That's
it's
not
the
how
one
I
at the bottom.
remember it. Yeah,
Yeah, this
this
one.
moment was so peak. I think this was like my second favorite moment.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, I think at the end, Pain leads Naruto towards towards the forest close to him. That
Mm.
way he's able to like seal him in the planetary devastation,
Yeah.
which then leads into the scene where Yamato sees like the like eight, the symbol eight on his palm, and he's trying to run back to stop it. And then you see the scene where Naruto is possessed, and then Minato comes in and then stops Naruto. So yeah,
Yeah.
what did you think of like the reunion between um Naruto and Minato? Give us
I
like
loved it. I
your
loved
first thought impressions.
so when he found out that like the fourth Hokage was his dad, and then firstly he got angry because he was like, why did you seal it in your son? Like you
Yeah,
knew
yeah, yeah,
like the
yeah, yeah.
pain it would.
Yeah, you can really
But then
feel
after,
like Naruto's like frustration. He's like, you
yeah,
really screwed my life. you
basically.
you gave me a terrible life. Like because of you,
But
I
then
suffered.
I like the parallel at the end where he's like he goes to I think Minato asks him. He asks him like, "How you gonna deal with this?" And he goes, "I'm the son of the fourth Hokage. I'll
Right.
deal with like this issue."
I
And then
can
you
deal
know,
with it, eh? Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That was so good. Honestly, my yeah, that was like that was such a like a unexpected plot twist. Like I didn't even think that would happen to be honest. I knew Naruto would stop transforming, but I don't know how he would. To me, it was like, bro, fourth Hokage comes, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, I'm your dad as well." Like, bro.
yeah,
To me, it just caught me off guard. I had no idea what was going on, to be honest. So yeah, and I think this is also the scene where Minato confirms that Obito was the one who, or Madara was the one who sent the 90ers. Because
yeah.
remember,
And he mentioned,
it kept going back and forth. Where like, nah, it was Madara, and then no, it was natural. It was a natural
yeah,
phenomenon.
it's a natural
And
disaster.
then
Yeah,
Minato confirmed and basically proved that Itachi was lying because Itachi
yeah.
was saying, I know it was. He was proving that
Obito,
Obito was
Obito was the
lying.
one who was,
Yeah, because
yeah,
Obito said it was natural cause. So yeah, that was basically reviewed. It was actually Madara or Obito who attacked the village, and yeah, and then um, the scene where Naruto punched Minato in the stomach. That was a good scene. He was just like,
that was,
that was a
yeah.
good scene. Like honestly, he should have punched him in the face too, eh? Low key.
Imagine,
And then yeah, I guess Naruto snaps out of it and he defeats Pain, eh? Pretty much.
yeah.
So yeah,
I think
and
the final part was just like Rasengan, and
yeah, I think the
that's
final
about it.
part was just wrapped up there. It's just like, okay,
Yeah, it's just quick.
let's get to the next
Yeah,
fight. That's what it felt
when he
like.
confronts Pain. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
I like
So,
that
and
part.
then I think he realizes like I think he figures out Pain's location because you know how Pain stabbed him
He
back.
stabs himself with
No, yeah, yeah, but
his,
like I think he figures out that he can sense Pain because before, you know how he was stabbed and pinned on to the ground. He felt Pain's
yeah,
presence, so I think he had that idea to do that again. That's where he got
yeah,
the
he
idea
did.
from. So yeah, he basically pinpoints what Pain is exactly, and then they meet. So Naruto finds the tree where Konan is hiding,
Yep,
and then they finally see each other. And
yeah,
yeah, now this is a pretty juicy part of the arc, to be honest. It's like I think it's very
yeah. This the
controversial because
backstory.
a lot
Yeah,
of this is where a lot of people with agendas try and downplay Naruto. or downplay pain as a
Mhm.
villain. So you want to
Yeah.
talk about, you want to go over like the just a quick summary of this part of the
Yeah, I'll
story.
do a quick summary of the backstory.
Yeah,
So Nagato had to like he goes that I had two pains that caused me to change. And
yeah,
then the first one was he goes that it was the death of my parents. So we find out that it was Leaf Ninja who killed his parents. And then he always like he never liked Leaf Ninjas from there. But
mm,
then goes that he met Jiraiya and then Jiraiya changed his perspective. So he was on a good path. We obviously know about how Jiraiya trained them.
yeah,
And then we find out that they created like a group to rival or like to create peace within the reign.
mm,
During that time, um, I think it was Danzo and Hanzo, they came up with a scheme. They found out that they kidnapped Conan
mm.
and then
I s- so
Yahiko and
like
Nagato.
so basically Danzo, Hanzo the salamander was cautious about the rise of the Akatsuki. So basically
Yeah.
he wanted to get rid of them basically because they were growing too much in influence and power. So
Mm.
he set up a meeting with the leaders, basically Conan, uh, Nagato. I know he kidnapped Conan, right? And
They kidnapped Conan. Yeah.
he tried to get the leader to come, so he could try to get Nagato and Yahiko to come. And then we found out yet again Danzo was involved because like everything that's
Yep.
every scheme that ever happens in Naruto
Every
is
bad
because of
thing.
Danzo. Danzo is
Yeah.
always involved somehow. But anyways, so they try and assassinate Yahiko, and they give Yahiko an ultimatum. I know they give Nagato an ultimatum to either kill Yahiko or watch them kill um, Conan, right? And so
Yeah.
Yahiko forces Nagato's hand, and Yahiko basically runs into Nagato's kunai and kills himself,
Yeah.
basically. And then Nagato goes on a rampage and like annihilates
Crashes out.
pretty much everyone. And
Yeah.
Danzo and Hanzo escape, and that is basically Nagato's second pain, or
Yeah.
yeah. So you can carry on from there if you want.
Yeah. So then we cut back to present time and then Naruto hears about this and then he was like I think he mentions doesn't he mention like a quote from the book? So he goes that if there's peace, I will like find it.
Yep.
And then that resonates with Nagato because he realizes that he said something similar to Jiraiya. So he
Mm.
was like, "Where did you get that from?" And then Naruto shows him the book, and he goes that the person who inspired
Was you?
Jiraiya to write was
Yeah.
you, Nagato.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah. Yeah.
goes that the
That's
name of the
such
main
a
character.
that's such a peak underrated moment. I don't think people understand
Yeah,
like because like we because when we go back to the backstory, right? Nagato was literally Naruto,
yeah,
and like he was like that same positive like he had this idea that he doesn't know what the solution is, but he just like persists. So that was basically
yeah,
Nagato's answer back then, like to just persist and pursue peace, like just do it basically. But
yeah,
we obviously find out like Nagato like gave up on that idea because of the fact where because of the Hiko. He basically thought it was like an impossible dream. That's when he went
yeah,
full villain mode. And so like hearing those words from Naruto and realizing that it was Jiraiya who got inspired by Nagato, and like just the fact that he just thought about that moment and that conversation with Jiraiya when he said, "I would just persist." That like that realization, I think that was like to me that's such a like to me that's convincing. I feel like that was a convincing um moment, and to me it makes so much sense, and to me it's just peak. Like
yeah. It does. It shows you.
hearing
Yeah,
your own words from someone else, and like that being their inspiration or that their motivation.
yeah.
Like to
I
me,
think
that's
he
such a
realized that
peak moment.
he deviated from his path, so
Yeah,
the path that
exactly.
he chose,
Yeah,
he
so like
deviated from that.
pretty much, yeah. And the fact
Yeah,
that it was
and
from
then
Jiraiya's book,
yeah,
and because like it's funny because Nagato was actually there when Jiraiya was writing the book, and Jiraiya
yeah, he
asked
was.
Nagato if he can use that idea in the book. And the fact that Nagato saw the end result or the end product of the book, which was inspired
Mm.
by Nagato himself, and the
Yeah,
fact that Naruto, the character in the book is Naruto, who
yeah,
who he's named after, right? So
yeah,
the character in that book is called Naruto. It's like
yeah.
you see like the symbolism and all that. Like to me, that's just such a peak moment. It's underrated,
And
that
then
peak
does
moment.
it? Yeah, I think Nagato. I think he's doubting it. He goes that, "Oh, are you gonna like deviate from the path?" But then Naruto goes
Yeah.
that, "I'm that character." He goes that, and I'm not good at writing books, so
Oh,
I need to stick to that character.
nah, yeah, that's such a witty line. He's like,
Yeah,
how can you be so sure that you won't be like me and deviate? He's like, I'm not as good as our master at writing, but the the story, the sequel only come through like the way I live. Or like he says
yeah,
something
my
like that.
life.
He says like
Yeah,
I have to like like the sequel is based on how I what I choose basically, or like
yeah.
how I like what choices I make now. He says something like that.
It's,
Let me get the
I
exact
think
quote.
you
It's
summarized. I
it's
think you
such a
summarized it well.
yeah, I did, but like I want to get the exact quote because I don't think I'm doing it
Yeah,
justice. But yeah, you can carry on. Like, what else do you want to talk about in this?
yeah. Like a lot of people think that like Nagato, his like the way he changed his mind and like obviously used the seventh path to revive the people of the leaf. A lot of people
Right,
thought like came out of nowhere, but I think it showed like through his backstory and through his conversation with Naruto, there was like validity to his opinion being changed.
right.
Would you
Did
agree
you
with that?
did you did you did you agree with did you like the Nagato bringing everyone back to life? Or not everyone, but like those who died in the village?
I liked it because Kakashi came back to life, and I needed him back.
So you didn't really care about like
Yeah,
everyone else, eh?
I never cared about no one else except for him.
Because like this is another reason why this arc is controversial, is because like people think that
Yeah,
it's like a cop out. Basically,
yeah,
it reverses the consequence, or like it reverses the like death, and
They-
it
yeah,
makes it invalid. But I don't think that's true, because I think the payoff in bringing back everyone was to see Naruto's the acceptance of the village towards him. To me, I think that makes
yeah.
it like worth it. So I guess it is valid to critique
And
that
it
part where
changes Nagato's arc. Yeah,
yeah, exactly, and it
and
reverses like
yeah, it turns
it
him into a savior.
exactly like it validates his
His
like
journey.
his journey basically. It just
Yeah,
you know makes a nice conclusion to his
yep,
story, because he brings back everyone he just killed.
yeah,
So like, it's good that it only extends to people who just died in the village because they're there, and like see like
yeah.
people need to understand it didn't reverse like the impact of Pain's destruction. It just like
I
brought
never.
back brought back random people that we don't care about basically,
Yeah,
and Kakashi.
but we do care about Kakashi.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah, that's see, and like there is still consequences from this arc because Jiraiya is still dead. You know what I mean?
basically, yeah,
So like
yeah,
that
yeah,
is all you need, like in terms of stakes, and like there is still a lasting effect of Pain's rampage basically.
yeah.
I'm still trying to find this quote, but yeah. Anything else you want to talk about? Like anything else we might have missed?
Should we just go to the final part of the arc?
Oh yeah,
So
talk about the
like,
final part, like how Naruto gets
yeah, he's
caught by Kakashi and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, Kakashi catches the Naruto. I think that's like one of my favorite moments in the arc. So like when he goes that you're heavy, and he
Ah, yeah,
walks with
yeah,
him, and
yeah. Such a wholesome
he
moment,
goes,
eh?
"You've done well." Yeah, he goes, "You've done well, Naruto."
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
Naruto sees like the village, like all the village people, and
Yeah, I
like they
think
surround
that
him.
that is such a like peak peak moment where like you see the villagers there to support him and congratulate him. Because like this is Naruto's dream basically from episode one. He's like, I want
Yeah,
people to acknowledge me,
acknowledge.
like you know, I
Yeah,
want people to like to notice me. And to me, I think
yeah.
this it was that motivation that actually uh led him to want to be the Hokage. I don't think he really wanted to be the Hokage. I think what he really wanted back then was acceptance and being recognized, basically. It's
Yeah, I
just
think
like
this was the main part.
Being
So
Hokage was the consequence of like what he really wanted,
being
which is yeah.
acknowledged. Yeah,
So I think that was cool. You carry on.
yeah, yeah. So I enjoyed that part. I also enjoyed the speeches that Ebisu and Iruka gave at the end as well. So like talking about how the third Hokage, he was talking about Naruto and how he said that the fourth Hokage wanted Naruto to be like seen as a hero,
Yeah, yeah,
and
exactly. Yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
Iruka looked at him and he goes that now we can see that that's reality. So it's coming to fruition. The fact that
Mm.
Naruto is now the hero of the Hidden Leaf Village. He's the
Yeah,
one
yeah,
who's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
acknowledged by every single person.
Yeah, yeah, that was cool. Who's the one who said that? That was Kakashi himself, eh? Or was
Iruka,
that Uriko?
Iruka said Iruka
Ah, yeah,
said it.
right.
Yeah. And I think that's the conclusion of the arc, isn't it? Did you
Yeah,
want
it
to talk
is.
about the end of
Um, nah, I think yeah, I maybe just touch over what you just said. So
the
yeah, to me, like honestly, this that conclusion is like one of the best conclusions of an arc, in my opinion. Like seeing Naruto's goal realized, but seeing his main goal realized, low key. So like, I guess some people also say like Naruto should have ended here, which it kind of makes sense. Like it is a really good place to end the show, but I feel like there are a lot of like there's a lot more to uncover basically. But like
Yep.
that is something the community believe in. Like people think that it should have ended in the pain arc, which I don't agree to be honest. Even though there are
Nice,
some
dude. Yeah.
iffy moments in the war, I think it was definitely not a good time to end the show or the story.
Yeah.
But yeah, like honestly, I think in this arc, Naruto Loki could have been the Hokage. Like I think he does
If
like
they
if
kill if they
what's
kill
that?
off Tsunade here, he could have.
Yeah, honestly, if they could have Tsunade,
Yeah.
you could have made Naruto the Hokage here,
Yeah.
like low key. And gotten rid of Danzo, because remember Danzo
Yeah.
was like the next outer, or he's the next
Yeah.
of in the hierarchy basically.
Yeah.
So
He
yeah,
is the strongest in the village right now.
mm. So I guess we can now do our rating of the arcs before
Yeah. Yeah.
before we end off. So I think we can include like the OG Naruto as well.
Yep.
I think we'll start off from decent with upgraded or not. So do you think Tenchi Bridge is still decent, or do you
Yeah. Yeah.
think we
Yeah.
should improve it? I think it's great.
No, you think
I'm
it's
gonna
great?
I think it's great because there's too many like there's peak moments in this arc that it doesn't deserve just decent. Like Orochimaru was Naruto, that fight itself was so peak. Then you have like
Yeah.
Sasuke's aura moments in the final part of the arc where he's like flexing. He's flexing on Naruto and Sai, and
Yeah.
he's literally eyeing out the Nine Tails. Like he's looking through Naruto's soul and talking directly to the Nine Tails, and then the Nine Tails like compares him to Madara. Like all those moments, and like Yamato's
Yeah.
introduction. I think he was such a funny character. He was cool. Sai was cool. I liked them. I feel like the intensity between Sai, Sakura, and Naruto was really good as well. So honestly, yeah,
Mm.
if you ask me, those are strong arguments to put this arc in great. Okay, look at
Yeah,
it
look,
like this: the story of the Tenchi Bridge is actually peak. If you, I mean, like great and peak. If you ask me, like in terms of the plot, what happens, the moments. I think the pacing is the only thing that lets this arc down. It's like if you were to remake this arc, it would definitely be in peak.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's pretty much my argument why I think it's like at least great.
Yeah,
Do
I think
you?
I'd change my because now that I'm looking at it, I think it's on the same level as like the Itachi Pursuit arc.
Ah, yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
moments are
exactly.
similar.
Yeah,
So
I would agree.
yeah, I'd have to
Yeah,
agree
I
with
would
you there.
agree. Fair enough. What about Itachi Pursuit? I think I we'll leave it on great because the only thing that happens
Yeah,
that's worthy of talking about is literally just this fight.
yeah.
Oh, actually, there's one more thing we forgot to bring up as well. Is this
Go
also
on.
the scene when I don't know. I was gonna bring up the scene when Kabuto shows like the coffins, which is like not even. It's
No,
like
no, no. That's fine. I've
it's not
cut.
that.
That's
No,
canon. Yeah,
I
canon.
was mixing up that scene with Kabuto showing himself to Naruto basically. Or
Yeah.
yeah, no, never mind. So yeah, I will leave that in great. Kazekage Rescue. Not gonna lie, I low key think it's peak. Low key. I'll move this towards peak.
Mm.
Do you disagree or do you feel like it should stay in great?
It depends on what we're talking about. So I think based on the manga, so I don't think the manga had if
The
it never had
pacing
the
issues
clone
thing.
fight,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, the pacing issues, I'd put it in peak as well. But I think like the anime, the way I watched it with that, I'd put it in great.
Well, I think you can forgive that one episode because it's
One episode.
technically filler. So like
Yeah.
technically it's filler, so you can disregard it, to be honest.
Mm.
So like
Yeah, I think
disregard that for a moment and just think about the moments in general. So like you have Sakura's evolution from
yeah,
blossoming into like an actual Kunoichi, being like such
yeah,
a big big part of the story. You know how she was able to like create an antidote, save Kankuro,
yeah, that
and
was a good
like
moment.
and her fight with Sasori, like that's such a
Yep.
big ass jump from what she was in OG Naruto. How
Yeah.
she was able to like literally throw hands with a Akatsuki member. And then Chiyo's introduction, like her character and her relation to Sasori, you know
Yeah, that
how
was good as well.
like the backstory of Sasori itself, like the parents, how sad I was, like all the revelations in the arc, just
Yeah.
revolving around Sasori. Like you know how he was able to uh, assassinate the third Kazekage, and then the fact that he turned his body into like a puppet, and then his flex on Granny Chiu. You know how Granny Chiu was like, "This is my 10 puppet Rashomon or whatever, like 10 puppet master," and the
Yeah.
bro was just
Yeah,
like,
the temple
he just pulled up
puppets.
like
Yeah.
his like 100 puppet army. You know how she was like,
Yeah.
"This I used to." He no he goes like, "You use that to destroy like you use that
I
to
think it
destroy
was
like a building, but I use this to destroy
yeah,
a nation." Like that flex,
yeah, that was
that was
peak.
such a peak like world flex. So I feel like there's so many of those moments. It deserves greater than the great. To me, it's peak, like overall. And then you have like the conclusion. Gaara's like the the wholesome moment with all the villagers coming together to finally support Gaara. Because we know like during this arc, we see like the not even like the villagers agree with Kazekage becoming the Gaara becoming the Kazekage. Like there's still people who
Yeah.
doubt that he should have been the Kage, And the only reason why he was Kage is because he was the son of the previous Hokage, Kazekage. And like people were even downplaying and talking shit about him while he was gone. You remember they were saying maybe we should leave him, like maybe just let him die. Like remember they said that? They said that in
Yeah,
their meetings. Like that's crazy, bro. And then like that turnaround from then to now, everyone wanting him back and like being happy that he's alive. Like to me, that's such a peak conclusion. Like to me, that's just so peak. I can't leave it in great. Have I convinced you or?
I think you have.
Ah, great.
I think
That's
I
going
have
straight in
to.
peak.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
gonna ignore the fact
I think we
after the
can. I
fight,
think
and then
I think we don't really need to talk about pain assault. We can skip that as straight in
nah,
peak.
we don't.
We'll fix the order
I
though.
think the rest.
Now we'll fix the
Yeah,
order, but we'll go over the other ones quickly. I think Fate between brothers. I think that's peak. One of the best
yep.
fights in Naruto. Sasuke vs Itachi. One of the biggest build-ups. Uh, Jaraiya the Gallant. That's peak. Akatsuki Suppression. So what do you think about that? Do you still think it deserves peak spot or not?
100%. I think
100%.
if
Why is
Kazekage
that?
is in there,
Which
just
one?
the moments. So like the
Yeah, the
moments of
Shikamaru
Shikamaru.
over there. Yeah,
Yeah,
honestly.
the episode, the one that we talked about, do you know, episode 81, where
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like the
exactly.
black and white
Mm.
funeral,
I
the
think the
game of
three
shogi.
I think the three moments that really stick out stick out is like they all just peak. So like you have the Shikamaru looking down on Hidan moment, that's so peak. You have that
Yeah,
episode that we keep talking about, like the somber funeral episode.
yeah,
And then you have like Asuma's death scenes.
yeah, that
Like
one
and
as well.
and, and like the reactions to Asuma dying. Like to me, like those are just
Yeah,
all peak. Like yeah, honestly, we'll leave it in peak then. Kakashi Gaiden, what do you think of that?
uh, yeah,
You
has
think
to
it's
stay
still
there.
peak?
Even though,
Even though it's short,
even
it's
though
like
it's
what?
just, yeah, but I think like for the story, like it was so impactful, and the
Yeah,
moments
yeah.
were so good
Mm.
that it has to be there.
Yeah, I think it's the fact that it really like um sets up like Naruto Naruto's whole like the intro part here, like how Kakashi is inspired by Obito and how
Yeah,
that also inspires Naruto and how that is like one of the main themes in the show, basically.
mm,
How that basically sets up everything that leads off from the intro and like
yeah,
the similarities and all that. It's like to me like and the fact that Obito here dies and like his impact like in terms of like the emotional impact to Kakashi and even to us watching like that shit was so sad.
yeah,
So yeah, I think we'll leave it in peak. So now I guess we can fix the order then.
yeah. You wanna arrange it?
Wait, did we leave Tenchi Bridge and
So,
Great?
yeah, yeah,
Okay, okay. So do you agree with that? A Tenchi Bridge and then
yeah.
Itachi Pursuit, or no? You think it should be the other way?
I think that's good. That's good.
Okay. So yeah, these are good. What about Kazekage Rescue? You think it should be on the bottom tier, bottom of peak?
Yeah,
Yeah,
bottom
I
of
think
peak.
I think it is the weakest thing and
Yeah,
all these. Actually, no, I actually put Kakashi Gaiden just because it was too short, and Kazekage Rescue.
mm,
There's so many more moments.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. For
So
me, it's about quality over quantity. So the quality in Kakashi Gaiden is better than the Kazekage Rescue.
I don't think I agree with that. To be honest, I feel like
Mm.
there's way more just as quality moments, but there's more of them in Kazekage. So like if you ask me, I think the conclusion to Kazekage Rescue is higher than the conclusion to this one. I feel like the payoff of Garo's character just exceeds anything in this arc, and even the fights. So like Sakura's
For
fight
me,
with
it's the
Chio,
payoff
it
of
exceeds
yeah.
this. You know what I mean? And like even like
For me,
the reviews of this arc, like the Kazekage review, Sasori reviews. But yeah, have I convinced you? Otherwise, I'm happy to put it above. I
Now
feel like
I'd still put.
there's way more in this.
Now for me, the fact that you see Minato, you see Obito, you see like how
No,
he
but like
influenced Kakashi.
I think you're thinking it like in hindsight, but I think when you're watching it in the moment, I don't think you have that same feeling when you just find out who Obito is, who Kakashi is, who
Yeah, I think
Minato
on the
is. Because
rewatches,
on
yeah,
the
on the
rewatch, yeah,
rewatches,
it's more impactful. But I think when you first watch it, I don't think I cared, to be honest. Like I
yeah, you make
cared,
a
but
good point.
I don't really like care that much. I didn't care about Minato then. I cared
Yeah,
about Obito, but it's only because of the fact that he died and how he
yeah,
inspired Kakashi. But other than that, it wasn't super impactful for me. Like you're thinking about in hindsight, eh? If I'm getting that right.
yeah,
Yeah. So I would put Kazekage over. Agree?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. So what about Pain? I don't.
It
Definitely, it's too low. It's too low. But
has to go at the top. Yeah.
would you put it above Sasuke Uchibo?
Oof.
Honestly, this is a hot take. But I
Probably,
think
probably
Sasuke
not.
Uchibo is better, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I think so. Bro.
To me, I think Sasuke Uchibo is like one of the greatest arcs of all time. Like probably the greatest in my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah, have to
Like
agree.
it's just I think the reason why I think it's better than Pain is because of the love the side characters get. Because
Yeah,
Pain is literally focusing on just Naruto and Kakashi and a few other like Tsunade. But I feel like with
yeah,
the Sasuke Uchibo arc, I think it was just perfect. Like all the side characters got their shine. Naruto got their
mm,
shine. Sasuke.
yeah.
The conclusion
I think
was
we talked about
peak
that.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think I'll put Pain in second for now.
yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So Akatsuki Suppression. I don't know. Jiraiya, the tale of Jiraiya the Gallant. In my opinion, I think it will probably go third. What do you reckon? Jiraiya the
It's
Gallant for
Tale of
now.
Jiraiya. I'd put Itachi and
No, no,
Sasuke's fight.
we haven't got to that yet. But would you put
Oh,
Jiraiya the Gallant over tuning exams, Konoha Crush?
yeah, 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 yeah. 100%
Yeah. Okay, I agree.
easy.
Uh, now we're on fated fight between brothers. I think I'll put this above Jiraiya the Gallant and above
It
tuning
has to be.
exams.
Yeah,
You agree?
yeah,
I feel like it's because like the build up of Sasuke taking revenge and the actual plot twist at the end,
yeah,
like Itachi actually being a loving brother and the village ordering him to assassinate his own clan. I feel like those two moments are just
yeah.
too
That
big.
was the biggest plot twist we've
It
ever seen.
Yeah, I think it was like definitely the top two plot twists in Naruto for sure.
Yeah,
Okay, so do you think it's better than tuning exams though?
easily.
Fair enough.
There's
Okay, now
no
we are
debate.
on. Oh, that's it, eh? So yeah, this
That's
is
it.
our
That's
rankings. So Sasuke
yep.
Uchiha is the best. Pain is second. Fated battle between brothers: Jiraiya the Gallant, Chunin, Konoha, Search, Land, Akatsuki Suppression, Kazekage, and Gaiden. Do you think these are better than these two? You think?
Uh, s-
Not gonna lie,
suppression arc. Yeah,
I'll put this above. I'll
yeah.
put this above, to be
I'd put
honest.
the suppression arc. Yeah, above there.
And
I might
I'll
put it
leave.
above Konoha Crush.
You reckon? Nah, I wouldn't.
I'm not.
The reason why I don't is because I think the Naruto, the Naruto moment is still higher to me.
Oh, the Gaara fight. Yeah,
The Naruto and
that's
Gaara
good.
fight. To me that's too peak.
Yeah, I think it's a flip
Yeah,
of a coin. That
I think this is pretty good, eh? So
I
this is
think
our
that's
order.
a good. Yeah, good list.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I think we can end the episode. I think we've been on for like 3 hours. So we'll end it now.
this is. Oh, yeah.
Bro, we tried to like shorten the episode, like going over it quickly, but bro, it still ended up being 3 hours, 3.5. That's
It's
crazy.
because you don't want to you don't want to forget anything, and you don't want to
Yeah,
miss like
we don't really
the
want to
moment.
just glance over things, eh? We got to talk about it
I think it's
properly. Like,
because everything that happens in Naruto is relevant. There's not like
yeah, yeah.
anything that like doesn't happen for a reason.
I think what Naruto does better than the other two, like the other big big three, is like
Yeah,
keeping us invested. Like there's like literally no low points. Like there's no like lull arcs. So like, for like
yeah,
One Piece, you have like some arcs where they're just like, bruh, you don't even need this arc.
yeah. You go to
I feel
sleep
like
in some of those.
yeah, I feel like in Naruto, like every arc is so peak. Like there's so like
You're locked in.
it just grabs you
Yeah,
and grabs your attention. Whereas sometimes there's some arcs in like Bleach and One Piece, they're just throwaway arcs. Like for
yeah. They are.
example, in One Piece, there's that uh, what's the zombie arc?
Oh, the thriller bark.
Thriller bark. I feel like majority of that arc was just trash, and then you had like
Yes. Yeah.
the one with the law when Law and Caesar the
Oh, Punk has it.
punk has it. Like that arc was like, bruh.
Yeah, that was
You know what
trash.
I mean? So like, there's a lot of those
Yeah.
arcs where you just like in narrative, there's no like arc where you just think it's just like rubbish or waste of time,
Yeah.
wasting your time. So yeah, I think that's what Naruto does better than Bleach and One Piece, to be honest. So I think that's that's why I put Naruto as my favorite in the big three. So yeah, that's my reasoning. Anyways, before we shoot off, um, from what we've covered so far, what is your
Yep.
favorite moment in Naruto? From only what we've covered so far, so you can't include Five Kage in the war. What's your favorite moment in this?
Probably the plot
Which,
twist of Itachi's reveal.
yeah, honestly, that would be my best moment as well. I think
Yeah.
it's only like it's the first time I cried in Naruto. The
Yeah.
second time is actually Kushina's. That's the second time. Like
Oh, that moment. Yeah.
that got me messed up, to be honest. I was actually low
Yeah.
key really really sad. See, I think I'll agree with you. Itachi's plot twist, like that whole fate between brothers, like the fight that leads up to Sasuke's um the review. Yeah, I would have to agree. That's my favorite moment in the show.
It was.
Anyways, I think before we shut off, what's you got any hot takes or anything that you want to bring up, like
Anything I want to bring?
yeah, like popular comments or community, um, like community
Uh,
gossip based on
a
Naruto, like
hot. Right. Let me just think of one. So a hot take that I have based on Naruto.
one we've covered only.
I don't know. Yeah, I'd probably say that. Um, do you know like the manga, the art?
Mm,
I don't know if it's a hot take. So like, I just think the art is the best art. Like a lot of people think Bleach has the best art out of the big three, but
yeah,
I think it's Naruto easily.
you
And I
reckon?
don't think like I think like in
Um,
terms of
yeah, yeah,
character designs,
yeah.
I think Bleach might be like
The
it's
best,
like
like
it's
yeah,
a
in terms of
debate.
like
Yeah,
you reckon? I feel like
but
in
I think
terms of like
overall art would be Naruto.
fair enough. Yeah, I think that's a pretty hot take. A lot of people would disagree.
Yeah.
Okay, so my hot take will probably be I think Pain is like the best villain in the big three. I think that would be my hot take. A lot of people would
Oof.
probably put like
Yeah.
the Flamingo over. Like one, I know One Piece fans would, but there's no shot.
Nah,
Like
they'll put
I'll never put the Flamingo over Pain
nah, never.
or
Aizen.
like
A lot
Aizen.
of
I would
yeah.
actually put Pain over Aizen, to be honest.
Nah, I would as well.
Yeah, in
There's
terms
no
of
debate.
character writing, like
Yeah. I like,
aura,
do you know the flawed villains? They're way better than like just the just
like
evil ones.
pure villains. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like Naruto popularized like broken heroes turn villains.
Broken villain. Yeah.
So like I feel like Naruto really made that popular because I think before Naruto, what other shows really like really highlight how one person can be like good or like have like somewhat of a like a good upbringing, but become a villain or like I feel like
What are
Naruto.
the show?
I feel like Naruto really differs from other shows by doing that.
Yeah,
And then
it has.
now you have newer shows trying to copy it basically.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So yeah,
I
I
don't
guess
think they
in
can
that
get
respect, Naruto's
that.
different. Like, but now like
Yeah,
you know a lot of shows are doing that now. To be honest. But
yeah,
anyways, I think that's us. We'll do some outros.
that's them.
What are you up to? And what are your plans?
I'm gonna be chilling. I don't know. I was thinking about I need to like pick up a new anime or something like that because I've barely watched like anything
Yeah,
recently.
yeah, yeah. Honestly,
So I
like
don't know if you know
it's really
like
dry right now.
overall. Yeah,
Wait,
I
have you
think I
not
watched.
seen have you seen Black Clover?
Yeah, I've seen Black Clover.
Oh, I see. Yeah, what's a show that you haven't watched that everyone has watched basically?
Probably like
Is there a
Monastery.
show like that for you? For me, it would be
Like
Dragon Ball. I've only seen like
yeah, Dragon Ball. Yeah, same
OG
for me.
Dragon Ball. I haven't really seen the Z, so I think that's
I
something I
haven't
might
seen
pick
any
up.
of them.
Actually,
Yeah,
I don't know.
none of them.
I watched like the old Dragon Ball, like when he was a baby, like a kid, and then I
Yeah,
watched like Super, and I watched a little bit of GT. So yeah,
yeah.
so yeah, that's actually one anime that I need to watch. I'll probably give that a go after.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know when, but yeah. So what you are you done? Just you want
Yeah,
to
and I
try and
might
pick up new
pick up.
animes?
Now I might pick up animes that I've dropped. So like One Piece had dropped. So I might
Oh
pick that
yeah,
up
you're
again.
on one away.
Yeah.
You're not even that far. So
Y-
like you're like yeah, you're not that far off to be
Yeah, I
honest.
think it'll be like 20 episodes and I'll catch up. But
Mm. Okay,
yeah,
is that it?
that's it.
All right, sweet. So for me, I think like I'm similar in a similar boat as you in. I just don't know what to watch, to be honest. There's like
Yeah.
it's really dry. There's nothing really popping.
I think
The
we
one
hit
the
like a
one
dry spell.
yeah, it's really dry out here. Like nothing to watch. So like recently I've just been watching Breaking Bad. So yeah, finishing that off.
Yeah.
And I think I would probably give that anime that's like Solo Leveling a go. The one with the crazy animation. Have you seen that?
Oh, yeah, yeah. So I've watched all of them.
No, not Solo Leveling. The one that's like Solo Leveling.
No,
It's this
never
one.
heard of it.
There's this crazy ass. I'll just search up Solo Leveling clone. It's actually a Chinese manga.
Yeah.
Uh, Solo Leveling. Uh, I just Chinese Solo Leveling. I think this is it. It's like crazy, bro. It's similar like Solo Leveling, where like there's this character who levels up. Same thing, like there's a system. But I think this one is like Cube. Chinese Cube Solo Leveling. I think this is the one.
I've never heard of it.
Oh wait, I'll just what's it called? I just want to show you because that actually
Super
looks
Cube.
really.
Super Cube.
Oh yeah, Super Cube. That's the one. Super Cube.
I might need to watch that.
It's crazy animation,
Yeah.
like really crazy apparently. So it's similar, like it's like Solo Leveling basically. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'll probably give that a go, and yeah, I think that's it. Eh? Well,
I
that
think
was a
I
good.
might give that a go.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
you should. Yeah. Well, anyways, I think that's it for today. Um, do you want do a quick plug, like promote, self promotion? Anything you wanna highlight?
Nah, just
Is there
promo
anything?
to just rewatch Naruto. That's what I'll tell everyone.
Fair enough. Well, that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in and watching after the fact. See ya. Laters. Catch you later, bro.
See ya.